This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going? It's like Blue and Chloe already. Yeah, she already fell asleep on you guys. Well, today is halfway through the month. Wow, the stock market's been doing some weird stuff with the financial crisis that never should have actually happened because there was no financial crisis. I mean, it was just some idiot tweeted, "Oh my God, everybody, take your money out," and then people take their money out, and then they run on the bank. Your money isn't sitting in a bank, everybody. I mean, everybody knows that, right? Like, if you have $50,000, there isn't some vault over there that has, that has your $50,000 sitting in the actual vault. It's just a number. I mean, it's amazing. People think, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my money." I mean, it's so irresponsible. It's I don't know what to say. It's there, okay. And I think the government I think that was a good move to back the people who had money in those banks and organizations, but not the stockholders of the actual bank itself. Because there's the people putting their money in the bank, even though we all know that there's like that limit, shouldn't it just be protected regardless? I mean, banks are banks. We don't have a choice. There's choices you can make with banks, but it's your money. You put it in there.
Let's go.
I don't know. And thank you, K-Me, the first super chat on the halfway of the month. We're halfway through it. Oh, Holly G sent in a picture. Where is that thing? yeah, I gotta find it. With her mug. So here we go. Here, I'm gonna show it. It's in the montage now too. There she is with the green "We Are Freaks" mug. Lizard eyes if I ever saw them. Gray, that's so mean. Yeah, all right. There you go. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody buy that one yet. I don't think I've seen anybody actually buy the green version. Yeah, I guess there is a. Well, I didn't even know there was one either. I guess there's a whole bunch of options in there. It's just a. It's not the whole mug isn't green. They just put this sort of square on there. Thank you, Circa Then. Yeah, you guys should get the mugs. There's a whole bunch of them. That's where the "It's a House" mug is. Yeah. And don't forget, I just sent Kubi and another person their notebook today. So if you guys want to get the notebook, it seems like other people ordered it, but I can't find them. I must have to do a check. Yeah. So I think that's the one I just did, I think. Well, I'll figure it out later. Yeah, you send 25 to PayPal, you get the notebook. And if I'm feeling happy that day, I put I've been throwing in lately the stress ball. You know, some people got them before I had them, or, you know, if you send in 30, you get the stress ball no matter what, but sometimes I put it in anyways. Yeah, the pens are okay. They're not, you know, the high-end pens or anything, but at least they say Freaks on it. Thanks, Ashy Snow. Yeah, so tonight's a pretty busy one. I don't even know if I'll get through. I'm going to save the long one for last. That's the case of, I think it'll be interesting though, but it's Doreen Heskett, I think is how her name is pronounced. Let me make sure. Yeah, Heskett from California, 1963. Man, they had full page. It'll take a long time to read through it. Happy to be here with Professor Gray and all the lovely freaks, and Blue and Chloe, of course. Yeah, there you go. And yes, we're halfway through the month, so if you'd like to help support the channel, and I then have committed myself to donating over 50% of the net revenue to various charities, and we've already done 1,000 this month, and I'm going to do another 500 in the next couple days to the Wounded Warriors, and then we'll wait till the end of the month to do the rest. So there you go. But obviously we've been sort of slowing down a little bit.
Professor Gray and all the lovely freaks, and Blue and Chloe,
never late.
Of course, Snowflake.
Okay, so just before I came on, I don't know if it was Ada or Truth Sleuth who posted this in our chat, or whatever you call it. This story here, I mean, this is something we gotta follow. I mean, this is crazy shit here. Trainee family doctor, 32, is arrested after cops found huge trove of child porn and clips of him examining children he'd secretly recorded on a bracelet during search of his parents' $1.1 million mansion. Thousands of images and videos on over 60 devices were seized. I mean, this sounds like the idiots in the Delphi case, right? I mean, Jesus. I mean, I think what we're learning here, everybody, is how prevalent these pedophiles and child pornography and things like that really are. You know, I thought it was just kind of this sort of fringe, like, okay, but it's not, man. I think it's very, pervasive throughout the society. Don't you think? I mean, it's just all over the place. It's just now there's people being caught, given the media and cameras and. Oh, Lynn Fleming got her notebook too. She just sent a picture of the notebook. A trainee family, yeah, we said that last night, Plato. A trainee family doctor concealed a huge trove of child porn and secretly recorded himself examining children using a camera hidden in a bracelet, police say. I don't know why that's on the screen there. But, Dr. Bradford David Ferrick, 32, appeared at Boston. Let me make sure I got the right. Yeah. So he appeared at a Boston federal court on Tuesday and was held without bail over the disturbing allegations. Raids at his apartment in Amherst. Well, you delay for 3 days, Plato? Raids at his apartment in Amherst and at his parents' $1.1 million Winchester mansion are said to have turned up thousands of child porn images held on 60 electronic devices. Ferrick is also accused of secretly recording medical examinations on children as young as 6 using a piece of jewelry that concealed a camera lens. During one recording obtained by police, he was heard discussing a young male patient's genitals with the boy's mom, although they cannot be seen in the clip, it's alleged. Since July, Ferrick had been completing a medical residency focused on family medicine with Bay State Franklin Family Medicine, which included rotations at facilities in Greenfield, Deerfield, and Springfield. Man, look at this guy. Yeah. The child porn investigation started in January when Google account flagged for uploading suspected illicit images of minors by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And see, that's why we donate to them. And the only way we can donate to them, you guys, is if every single night on the show, the super chats help support the channel, along with channel memberships, etc., etc., etc. All right. 2 of the uploads from November 2021 and March 2022 had occurred from an IP address close to where Ferrick was attending medical school at State University, New York, Upstate Medical University in Syracuse. More cyber tips then allegedly showed the illegal material being uploaded at an IP address linked to his family home. During the first search of the mansion on February 13, 2023, Ferrick refused to speak with law enforcement officers. Or we're still saying hello, hello, hello already? Jesus. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello.
I'm fired out of it, 19,
Hello, 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 Wow. More cyber tips then allegedly showed the illegal material being uploaded at an IP address linked to his family home. During the first search of the mansion on February 13, 2023, Ferrick refused to speak with law enforcement officers. Second. Yeah, so, he's no Keegan Kline, right? I mean, Keegan Kline was like, hey, yeah, check it out, check it out. Yeah, I got all that. That's all on these things. Thanks, Candace Hill. I guess you were the only one to hear the call. Let's see. It's pretty crazy. This is just... Doesn't he look like... Remember the old animated Christmas... Kris Kringle, with the abominable snowman. Put one foot in front of the other and soon you... Remember that one? He looks like Kris Kringle. When he was sitting there and he didn't have the hat on his head or something? Don't you think that? I mean, my God. Let me see if I can find that. No, but it's the younger... It's when he was the mailman. Let's see, Kris Kringle. Let me. It was when he was younger, though. Hold on a second. Not when he got older. It was when he was like the first starting off. God, where the hell is he? Yeah, it's not this one. Well, not when he was a mailman. There was a mailman also, but it was Kris Kringle, young. Well, he looked like one of these guys. Maybe this one. Or maybe I'm thinking of... Yeah, it might have been the other version or something. I know there was one where his hair was kind of more over like that, but... Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was the elf. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think you're right. That's what it was. All right, let's look at that one. Dentist, elf, Kris Kringle. Pharisee. Man, it's not popping up. But hey, look at that guy. Hell, he looks just like him. I can't find... Yeah, that is the guy that I was thinking of, what you're saying. I think it was the dentist. Yeah. Cops then seized 61 electronic devices as they were arresting the trainee doctor. Ferrick's father told investigators that the devices belonged to him. Ferrick's workplace put him on unpaid administrative leave in February after the allegations first came to light. He was first charged with 4 state counts of child pornography possession, to which he pleaded not guilty and then paid $50,000 cash bail and was released with orders to remain at home. But now, Ferrick has made an appearance at the U.S. District Court in Boston, charged with a sole federal count of child porn possession. Magistrate Judge Jennifer C. Bowl ordered him to be held in custody until his next hearing on March 21st. And look at this guy. Jesus. The trainee doctor. Why do they call him trainee? You mean like... I mean, this must... I think whoever wrote this must be from another country. We don't refer to it like that. Unless this is in... Where is this located? Oh, in Boston. Yeah, we don't say trainee doctor over here. Is that you think that's what it means? I don't think so. I think it means like when you're a resident, basically. A resident is kind of what they're referring to. Oh, is that what it was? Let's see. Rudolph. Movie dentist. Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that guy. Wait, hold on. Let me get back. How about you got to go back over there? Just flip his head around. I mean, he's an absolute clone of that guy. That's the one I was thinking of. All right, there it is. Huh? We are cooperating with law enforcement authorities as they proceed with their investigation. All right, well, we'll have to keep an eye on this guy. That's just unbelievable. He was probably going to go into like pediatrics or something and just be taking pictures. I mean, that's probably... I mean, there's pedophiles out there, but this guy's a different level where he's like using his absolutely trusted position of being a doctor, which is even higher than like being a cop or any, it's like literally like, hey, a doctor, what are they? You come in there and you're just expecting to be treated or whatever and have a doctor look at your kid or whatever. But this guy's taking pictures and storing them. And what was he doing with them? Did he also have access to a Dropbox somewhere where he was sharing these pictures? Yeah, jeez. Well, that's it for that. I'm just, there's just came by right at the end there, and I thought I'd put it out there. Okay, we're also going to let's do an update on, it was actually the missing Yuvaya Morrisey, but she goes by Tay, which is a hell of a lot easier to say. I think Zozo sent me a link of something, but then I contacted the person that wrote the article, and then she was emailing or messaging me. We were messaging back and forth, and it's her aunt. So it's the aunt of Tay, and that's the girl. Let me just make sure, remind you guys of who we're talking about. Yeah, this girl right here from yesterday. Remember, she was in an apartment, and then she left. But it turns out that she left to go visit a woman who she told her son was a friend of hers. Okay, and so in the message she said, my sister said, oh, well, here's the thing. There's a lady in the complex who was mentioned by her son as being her friend or something. But that lady has a really long criminal history, but it turns out that Tay's friends with the daughter of that person. And then that daughter, the girl named Kimberly, I think, that she's friends with, just disappeared. They can't find her now. She took off. She was still around after the disappearance, but has taken off since then. So there's more to the story. It isn't some random. So my sister said, yeah, well, somebody mentioned that they saw her friend Kimberly running away with a large duffel bag filled with stuff, but that can't be confirmed. And it says, however, we do know is that KK, they call her, Kimberly, I think. Tanya daughter is no longer, so the lady named Tanya is the friend, the 46-year-old woman who lives in the same complex, who has a long history with some drugs in the past. I mean some are from 93 and et cetera, but there's literally like 40 or 50 different notations in there. Tanya's daughter is no longer around after the police went to speak with Tanya. So the police went to speak with Tanya, then the daughter took off and hasn't been seen yet since. So the story is Friday, March 3rd, 2023, around 2:30 p.m. Yuvaya Morrisey, aka Tay or Tink, picked up her son from the bus stop, and they both returned home. She told her son she was going to a friend, Tanya Wallace's home, in the same complex. So I was able to look up her name in the same complex and found that lady does live there. And she never returned home, which is in the Concord Point apartment complex in Concord, North Carolina, of which they have stated they do not have working cameras to confirm how she may have left. The neighbor across the street and her daughter, Kimmy Thompson, so Kimmy, that's the KK, were the last two people to have seen her. She was last seen wearing a black shirt, black cardigan, black jeans, and black fur slides. She has dreads with honey blonde color on the ends. We are very concerned as a family due to her having epileptic seizures and has been without medication for over 10 days. So, wow, I mean, and I remember in the Kenneka Jenkins case, Kenneka Jenkins was taking topiramate, which is an anti-seizure medication. And if you remember in that case, the alcohol made her extremely intoxicated. I don't know if there was alcohol involved in this one, but if you combine maybe topiramate with some other drug, I could see there being something, pretty devastating happening. And I was looking up today. Guess how many people died in 2021 in the United States from fentanyl? Just put out a number. I'll just tell you. 106,000 people. I mean, that is insane. Okay? 106,000 people in 2021, and now it's bigger than that. I bet you 2022 was larger than 2021. And that's the you know, fentanyl being, I mean, it's a huge problem. I wonder why it's not being made a bigger deal about it. You know, I mean, it's absolutely insane. Thank you, Cali Gal 3 and Flounder 23.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
It's only becoming a bigger and bigger problem. Yeah. Yeah, no, we gotta have this whole thing, you know, stopped. And we need to get people in office that are willing to do the hard thing, not what's neato and cool so everybody likes them. We gotta do the thing that actually gets it done. But yeah, in this case, like Zozo just typed in, it doesn't look, it's not looking good. And I think the family already kind of doesn't think something, you know, like they think something bad happened. This is correct story that we gave the news reporter, and other story is correct. She has a phone and texted her mom maybe an hour before she left to give her the new number. I don't know why she has a new phone, I asked, but she hasn't responded yet. The next day, since she didn't come back home, my sister texted her, which is her mom, which is Tay's mom. So this is the aunt that I'm talking to her. But no response. And I called her and there was no answer. The phone would ring and just stopped ringing one day last week. Well, that's interesting. It almost sounds like it had power, but it was left on and it had power and it had power and then just eventually it just died. So her phone is somewhere, you know, maybe it's with her somewhere. Thanks, Tina Susser. She said, please share this live. Right, the battery died, yeah. That's what I just said. Okay, so I mean, that's all I have for an update on that one, but it's looking more ominous, and it's definitely not just somebody who ran away and disappeared.
Please share this live. Ocean wave, ocean wave.
Okay, now we're going to move on to the cases, the other cases for tonight. They're pretty long ones. Right, I haven't even, you know, some of these I just load up on the articles and I hardly know anything about them at all, and we just go look at them together. And that's when I, no, there it is right there. So this is the first one. This guy named, wait, hold on. Oh, good for you, Javier. Javier said, here, let me get this thing. Where is that? Is that it? Oh yeah. Yeah, he said, I was addicted to fentanyl over 6 years ago before anyone knew the name. It was rampant in Boston and took everyone from me, including multiple close friends. Hard to recover from, but I was lucky. Yep. I mean, it's so absolutely random how much fentanyl they put in, and it just kills. You know, like, I mean, they were talking about not even that much fentanyl can kill hundreds of thousands of people. So for them to get it precisely right, I mean, isn't it just speed? What they used to call speed a long time ago? I thought that's what it was, but... Man, you guys are just chatting up a storm in there. Yeah, it's a narcotic, but I thought somebody put it in. Why would I go to jail, Katie? What did I do wrong this time? Yeah. I thought it was an opiate. I'm not really a drug. I don't really give a shit about knowing about drugs. You know, I mean, I'm glad you guys are all experts on it, but to me, it's just like, just don't do drugs, you know? You don't have to start doing drugs, and if you're doing drugs, quit. No matter how hard it is for your brain, just quit doing it. All right? It's your choice to do it. Oh, Adderall is the one that speed? Okay. Yeah, I think I knew it was a, like, kind of like heroin, you know? I don't know why I was thinking speed. I think my brain was thinking of something else. Yeah, but I'm glad you guys are all like experts on fentanyl. Yeah. No, it's, I said that, Nomad Bees. You must not have listened to what I said. I said no matter how hard it is, just quit doing it. Okay? You know it's not good for you. It's horrendous for you. Like people doing meth all the time. Yay, I want to keep doing that. You know, listen, you know it's shitty to do, so don't do it. You're going to turn into like one of those wastoid types where your face caves in and you're, you know, so when you go, God, it's so much harder than, you know what? Make a decision one day and just quit doing it. You know? I mean, it's hard as hell. I know. I know it is. But every one of you, you know, if you have the ability to be on the planet, you have the ability to actually quit doing it. Just right. That's right. Yeah, see, like look at what Xavier just said. It really is a mind over matter situation. Once you get past the physical withdrawal, it took tons for me to decide I was through with living that way. Because it probably feels really good and everything. But it's killing you every time you do it. Yeah. Exactly. There's places all around that can help you through it. You just have to want to do it. Yeah, I think I was thinking of Adderall for some reason. Yeah, it's the same thing. People can always find a way to make it in life if you want to. So it's the same thing. If you want to find help, you can find help. You know, the United States has tons and tons of different things, places available. You know, you just have to want to do it. Anyways. Well, there you go, see? Javier, that's exactly right. I mean, believe it or not, I think the same thing. Like, I used to when I would drink alcohol, I would chew tobacco, which is sicker than it's gross, right? I mean, but you know, that was like 15 years ago. You know, and after a while, you get to the point where you really can't have a beer without having a chew, because the combination of alcohol and nicotine is so like they almost like they got together and planned it out. It's so perfect, you know. But one day I just said, "Oh, this is stupid," and you know, it took like 2 or 3 weeks until you're really, you know. And every time you'd have a beer after that, you might think, "Oh, wow, a chew would be," but then, you know, a couple months after that, you don't even think of that either. You know, and chewing tobacco is much harder to quit than smoking, except the smokers have a physical habit of holding something too. I mean, it's really weird. I remember when I was in college, this kid was smoking cigarettes, and he would just smoke and smoke and smoke. I mean, he would just smoke like air. He would get high on air. That's how much he smoked. Like when he'd be like a, and then he'd take a breath of regular air and go, "Whoa, this is what you guys feel like?" Oh, ooh. Yeah, so he would get right back to the cigarette. But I remember one day he didn't have a cigarette. And we were waiting in line to go eat breakfast or something. And he was jittery. He was just shaking and shaking. Just shaking all over the place. And then he bummed a cigarette from somebody. And it was once the cigarette was between his fingers, the jittering went away. So what that shows you is the jittering has nothing to do with the physical, like, oh my God, the nicotine is making me want to chitter. It was a mental thing. Knowing that he was going to be able to have some calmed him down. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if I even talked to him about it. I just thought that was it. But anyway, let me just get to these cases now, all right? You guys don't seem to be really focused on what I'm saying anyway, so let's just do the case. Larry McAllister, homicide victim, Popka, Florida. It's just, I mean, I'm looking in the comments, not one of them is related to anything that I'm saying. You're just still doing the hellos and the other nonsensical shit. Okay, so here we go. Now, is it a Popka or a Popka, or, you know, tell me how to say it now, everybody, so you don't get all upset. A Popka. Okay, good. Deputy sheriff. Well, they have no motive in the slaying of Larry McAllister, who was found by a secretary. Deputy sheriffs have few clues in the slaying of a business co-owner outside his office Wednesday. The body of 45-year-old Larry McAllister was found about 7 a.m. by a secretary reporting to work at McAllister's and Associates, Inc., a refrigerator company. McAllister, who lived in Apopka, was lying next to his Mercedes-Benz, which was parked near the door of the business at, let's see, there it is right there, 549 13th Street, Apopka, Florida. And right now we're about 15% of a normal night, guys. So if you want to feel like you can help out the channel, that'd be freaking great. All right, there we go. Right there is the place of business. Worked here. I wonder if you can get in there with honest. No. Maybe you can see. Oh, you can kind of see through there. Yeah, so I guess it's like one of these. The body of 45-year-old Larry McAllister was found about 7 a.m. by a secretary reporting to work at McAllister and Associates. McAllister, who lived in Apopka, was lying next to his Mercedes-Benz, which was parked near the door of the business at 549 13th Street. Hold on a second. Can everybody just pause the show and go share the link somewhere? I mean, this is crazy to have that few people watching. It's like it didn't go out or something. Thanks, Kelly Snyder. I'm gonna do tweets. There we go. Police had no suspects or clear motive in the slaying. Orange County Sheriff's Office spokesman Carlos Espinosa said, "We don't know if it was robbery or hate or a disgruntled ex-employee," Espinosa said. "It appears to be this one that, let's see, it appears to me this one they are going to have to do some work on." McAllister was very into his business, Espinosa said. Often working late and arriving early, he was also careful about locking the door and gate to his business, Espinosa said. The gate was locked when McAllister was found. So I wonder if that's... Yeah, there you go. That's a gate, right? Right there. Okay. Anyone with information is asked to call the crime line. That was 1995. And then this is just another article. Some of these, these cases are just so, there's hardly any information on them. Orange County deputies were still searching Thursday for a suspect in the murder of businessman Larry McAllister. McAllister's body was found Wednesday outside McAllister and Associates, a refrigerator company. He died of a head injury. I wonder if it was a gunshot wound. The company opened for business Thursday, said Melissa Memory, the wife of McAllister's business partner, Scott Memory. Yeah, so I guess they open for business. Your boss gets killed and, hey, we're open the next day. And 6 days later, or I guess this is 6 days later, but 3 years. 3 years later, but 6 days in the calendar later. Like August, what is it? I think it was August 11th was the first one. So 3 years later, Larry McAllister killing in Apopka still torments his family. His 76-year-old mother occasionally has a good day. His brother and 3 sisters in Arkansas try not to dwell on what happened, but no one ever gets over the violent death of a loved one. His sister, Sue Roll of Little Rock, knows that the only person able to answer her questions about McAllister's death is the killer. She gets frustrated because there's no answers, said her husband, Ed Roll. She's not blaming the police. There's just no answers. It's frustrating. McAllister died August 9th, 1995, in the parking lot of his refrigeration and cooling business on West 13th Street. It probably was about midnight when the killer stepped out of the dark. Clues found when the body was discovered shortly after dawn showed the killer probably hid outside near McAllister's Mercedes-Benz sedan while the businessman worked late. A former Eagle Scout, McAllister was known for going to work as early as 3 a.m. to track orders. He would work until midnight and later to keep his afternoon free for his sons, age 5 and 7, from his second marriage. There had been some break-ins at his business, McAllister and Associate, so McAllister often carried a pistol when he went in early or stayed late. Hey, thank you, Amy and Todd Stakely, who said, "Good evening from the Cahaba River. Thanks for all you do." What are you doing? Are you fishing? Sweet.
Good evening from the Cahaba River.
Simple Life
Waving.
Days reading
Thanks for all
fee.
you do. Great.
Yeah, well, if you got to go all these stories, you pretty much have to just, I mean, I think it's kind of more interesting to read through them because you're not missing anything that they put.
Reading fee.
And plus it's like you just go, here's the bullet points. Okay, next. You're not really getting, there's no context sometimes. Oh, you live on the river? Sweet. Thank you. And hello to, let's see. Oh, what did you say? We live on the river. Well, say hello to everybody there, Amy. Okay, there had been some break-ins at his business, McAllister and Associates, so McAllister often carried a pistol when he went in early or stayed late. To me, it looked like someone had been waiting around for him. It appeared someone was waiting in the bushes, Orange County Sheriff Detective Stuart DeRitter said. I strongly believe it was someone who lived in the area. Robbery seems to be the likely motive. DeRitter said about $200 in cash was taken from McAllister's wallet, as well as his 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Wow. The Mercedes was left in the parking lot. The killer did not enter the unlocked business. After stripping the body of the cash and gun, the killer probably fled over a fence surrounding the parking lot. A police dog tracked the killer's scent from the parking lot along 13th Street. So let's see, there's the fence, would have jumped over that maybe. Okay, that's 13th. And the dog also found a clue dropped by the killer that Redditor would not identify. Man, if they saw that item, they might have some DNA on that. Since McAllister's death, his wife and sons have moved away from Central Florida. His daughter from his first marriage still lives in the area. The family hopes for something close to a miracle, someone who knows who killed Larry McAllister. The sheriff's office solves 78% of its murder cases. Hold on a second. Yeah, that was the wife heading home. The sheriff's office solves 78% of its murder cases, which is about 10% higher than the national average, but that leaves 1 out of 5 cases unsolved and growing number of victim families without answers. And then in the Project Cold Case file, it just says, just after dawn on August 9th, 1995, an employee arriving for work at McAllister and Associates in Apopka, Florida, found the body of Larry McAllister, 45, near his Mercedes-Benz sedan. And there's a picture of it right there, I guess. Let's see, let me see that. Yeah, I think that's the one we read. I think that's the first article actually had that picture in it. So if you look at that, and it looks like it's back in that right there, in that far back corner. And you can even see that awning, amazingly. Right here, look at. I think that's probably it. Yeah, look at it, even has the light. See that? The light right there?
Jeff Wheel donation.
All right. I'll put Jeff in there. Thanks, Zozo. Yeah, so it's right back in that corner there. Definitely looks like the same thing. What do you guys think? And plus, it's like, where else could it be? I mean, that's the address, and it's the end of it. And it's right there. There's a light there and a light there. So, looks good. He was known to work late hours, but always carried a handgun for protection. Investigators believe his killer probably hid outside the building, waiting for Larry to leave. The killer shot Larry and took nearly $200 from him, as well as his 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Detectives used a police dog to track a scent from the parking lot to West 13th Street, where they found an undisclosed piece of evidence. Larry McAllister was a hard-working, dedicated husband, father, son, brother, and friend. He was a former Eagle Scout that juggled odd work hours in order to spend time with his young children. It has been 21 years since Larry McAllister was murdered in the parking lot of his own business, and our hope is that someone will come forward. I mean, just somebody out there, you know, like just... if you have any information on this, just come forward. It's no big deal, all right? Just come forward, give a little tip to the police. Is there something, what's going on right at the moment now? Because it's weird to see that we only have about half of the normal people. So what do you think's going on out there? I mean, this is sort of like old school normal, like a year ago, but there must be like a Brian Koberger live stream going on or something. Yeah, well, whatever that item they have is, they should test it for DNA. I don't know what you're saying, Dina. I don't even know who you are. Never seen you before. Yeah, good for you. Why are people saying, I'm here? Like, I get it. Okay, great. I wasn't talking about you then. I mean, it's just weird. Like 284, we usually get 450, you know, 500. Yeah, I hope they do the test. Maybe it's just, notice how there's nothing in the title that's popular. So isn't that weird? Like, even yesterday I put Brian Koberger because we could just talk about the one article and then people stayed around. But I didn't put anything in there. There's none of the big cases are in the title of any way, shape, or form. And it just shows you. It's really, that's why it's sort of detrimental for my channel to to do these. Even though you guys claim to like it and everything like that. Look how the channel does on these types of nights. You guys all see it, but you all say, "Good, I love these, great." Really? I mean, you know. And then you get like 277 people watching instead of 500 or 600 or 700 people. Yeah. That's what they say, Mark. I'm so mean. But that's it. That's all they have on that case right there. I think they should go test whatever that item is. We don't know what it is. But I was called so mean, so guess what that means? It means I get thrown into prison. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Zozo's in jail right off the bat. She must be in there from earlier. Who knows? But there she is. It's the So Mean jail. Thanks, K-Me. Yeah, maybe that's, I don't know, spring break. Yeah, there's no bond. Simple Life Days. Hey, it's not my fault somebody called me mean.
Let's go, freaks. Bail.
I always have to, maybe I should always put like Alec Murdoch or Koberger
Bail
or
for Zozo.
Delphi or something in the title, you know, just to get the algorithm. Thanks, Tony Lee. Yeah, but that's not going on tonight, Blaze. Yeah, all the posers who never covered the Daybell case until it got popular. Yeah. Good for them. All you need in the Daybell case is the probable cause document, and then you can go back over it. Guess we'll just languish here in prison. Hey, thanks, Renee H. Yeah. One of the days I'll go back over the probable cause. We have it all mapped out. It's, you know, we covered it since the, like, within a month of them being reported missing and everything. So yeah, we've been doing it a long time. Kind of figured it all out early. Thanks, SV Kathy. Nope, now you got a cat in prison. Thanks, Sunny Girl. Not sure what you're talking about, Cindy. Search your couches. Not sure what's going on, Kami. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks everybody.
I'll share my 2-pack of Hostess cupcakes with you.
All right. Well, I like Twinkies, but have a Twinkie. Like if you hadn't had it, well, I'm not gonna eat a Twinkie, but I had one like a year ago, and it was pretty good. Forgot how good they were. Not sure what that means. Uh-oh, bricks. Yeah. Yeah, sure. What? Man, speak English, everybody. You know, put words to add context to something. Yeah. Yeah, I know you like Cindy, but I can't really do those. Yeah, I got to get back to the bells and whistles kind of stuff. All right. I'm gonna move on to this one. Okay, this is the murder of Monica Leech. Large reward seen in bank slang. Hoping to smoke out 2 men who shot and killed a 39-year-old bank teller at point blank range Monday. Authorities today expect to announce a reward that could top $100,000 for information leading to their arrest. Someone out there knows these men or has seen these men, said Bob Brooks, a chief deputy with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department. That could be the information we need to break this case. Frustrated by conflicting witness statements and descriptions of the robbers, investigators were heartened to learn late Tuesday that the Western League of Western League of Savings Institutions is planning to offer a reward possibly in excess of $100,000 for information on the men who killed Monica Leech, a Camarillo mother of 2 children. We are in the process right now of coordinating the reward fund from our member organizations. So anyway, these are apparently sketches of the people that were in there. And we're going to go to B, I think it's 198. Yeah, I mean, here it's interesting how they have a diagram, and I think that was in California. And I think it's this building right here, even though it's not a bank anymore, you can kind of just tell that looks just like how a bank would look, and it even has the same shape as the drawing that they have right here, but that's exactly where it is on the map right there. Deputies conducted a street-by-street search. Well, let me do it right here. Despite blanketing the city with more than 40 investigators and deputies, authorities have few leads on the 2 men, one white and the other either black or dark skin. Both are described as being in their mid-20s, about 5'11", and last seen in a white sports utility vehicle with a license plate starting with 3T. Deputies conducted a street-by-street search of the city Monday and canvassed businesses in the area of the robbery on Tuesday, looking for anyone who may have seen the car or the robbers. FBI agents have been comparing characteristics of this robbery with other holdups in Southern California, looking for cases with similar weapons or methods. 2 deputies on motorcycles slowly cruised along the sides of Moore Park Freeway on Tuesday morning, looking for anything that may have been thrown out of the car. That's her mother right there. So here's the timeline right here. At 10:15 a.m., 2 men with nylon stockings over their heads enter the front door, waving handguns and yelling to the employees that the bank is being robbed. Robbers grab male employee, pulling his arm behind his back and pushing him to the center of the bank lobby. Robbers handcuff 2 employees, including Monica Leech, or Monica Lynn Leech. Man, I combined the names. One robber jumps over the teller counter, emptying teller cash drawers into a bag. Robbers push employees into a room that holds a safe and orders one employee to empty cash from the safe into bag. Employees are ordered to kneel, and Leech is shot in the back of the head. I mean, there was no reason for them to shoot her. That's the thing. Like, they didn't shoot the other ones. They just had her kneel and got, boom, just shot her right in the head. Robbers run out front door to their car, which is parked a block away. They stormed into the bank with their guns drawn, yelling that they were robbing the bank. After corralling the 4 employees and handcuffing Leech and one other worker, one robber jumped the teller counter and emptied the teller drawers of cash. The employees were then hustled into a side room that contained a standalone safe and were ordered to put the money into a bag. They were then ordered to their knees, and according to sheriff's officials, Leech was shot in the back of the head, execution style, for no apparent reason. The robbers dashed out the front door, passing a customer on her way inside, and ran to their getaway car, described as a white sport utility vehicle, either a Ford Explorer or a Jeep. And thank you, Cheryl Bullock. Let's see what it says. High speed on the Moore Park Freeway near Avenida de los Arboles. Anyway, so that is, just kind of, this is just a random story here. I'm going to show you why in a second. So here it is. Sandy Sherritt left, who taught Sunday school to Monica Leech's children, mourns with Nazarene youth pastor Tracy Finnemore. And so here's another. I think it's that's the same one. I just went to the link to the same page. So I mean, it was just a really devastating thing. But amazingly, everybody, right now, DNA evidence technology advances lead to suspect arrest in 1997 robbery and murder at Thousand Oaks Bank. See, that seems like a case that you would almost never solve, that one. What updated, and this says, Ventura County law enforcement officials say that during the initial investigation into the 1997 robbery and murder of 39-year-old teller Monica Leech of Camarillo at the now closed Western Financial Bank in the 2900 block of Thousand Oaks Boulevard in Thousand Oaks, detectives were able to identify two possible suspects. But it wasn't until a couple years ago when the cold case was reopened and they had the technology to amplify DNA evidence found at the scene that they were able to arrest one of the suspects, 55-year-old Kevin Ray James of San Bernardino. Thank you, Marlene. James was taken into custody on March 9th of this year and is now charged with first-degree murder, a special circumstance of murder during a robbery and use of a firearm. James was in court Monday but did not enter a plea, and his arraignment was continued until... I wonder if he'll rat out the other person. The charges against him would indicate he was the robber that shot Leech execution style, even though she and the other employees were totally compliant with the suspect's demands. Officials would not indicate the status of the second suspect, except to say they are seeking public help in bringing that person to justice. The suspect got away with a little more than $11,000 in the takeover-style robbery. The charges against James are also considered charges that could bring the death penalty in California, though, so you can forget that. They've not indicated if they've made a decision regarding that one way or another, and usually would not until somewhere down the line. Leech was a wife and mother of 4 children who had worked in the banking business for many years, but had just transferred to that bank because of the reputation of Thousand Oaks as one of the safest cities in America. The robbery and her brutal, senseless, unprovoked murder made national news and prompted one of the most intensive investigations ever by the Ventura County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. There is still a reward being offered for the arrest and conviction of all those involved in what happened. So there you go. This idiot right here was arrested. He's the shooter. Because they probably said the one that there was a white person and a black person, and the people were able to say that the person that was the shooter was the black person, and then his DNA matched what they found at the scene. Therefore, that's how they did it. That makes sense to me. And also thank you up there to Marlene. All right, hold on. I gotta... Yeah. I don't know if I've done that one. Yeah, it's cool every once in a while to have the ones that are solved. Okay, so here's another one. Alicia Carver in New Llano, Louisiana. So I'm going to go there. Okay, and this is her right here. Alicia Carver, unsolved homicide victim, September 11th, 2002. So, I guess 1 year after 9/11 on the day. All right, here we go. A woman was beaten to death and a teenage girl suffered severe head injuries in an attack in a residence. So I couldn't find that I've done this one, but if it seems familiar to you, let me know. But I couldn't find it in my anywhere. So a woman was beaten to death and a teenage girl suffered severe head injuries in an attack in a residence. Oh, and thank you, Paulette Leonard and Susie Clue and Bama Forever, who said, Gray, stopping by to say hello and watching a lot of replay. Once work slows down, I'll be watching live. Oh, sweet. All right. Well, thank you, Paulette. Here, I gotta throw those into the spin. Hold on. I want to make sure they're in there. Susie Clue. And Bama Forever. Okay. Investigators said they do not have a suspect or motive and have not recovered a weapon. Vernon Parish Sheriff detectives responded to a call from New Llano Police shortly after 11 p.m. Wednesday and found the two victims in a residence. Alicia Carver, 19, was pronounced dead at the scene by a doctor from the Vernon Parish Coroner's Office. The 16-year-old girl was taken to Beard Memorial Hospital in Leesville, then transported to LSU Hospital in Shreveport for treatment of severe head injuries. Investigators said both had been beaten in the head and there were no signs of a break-in. Carver lived at the residence with her mother, who was not home at the time of the attack. The 16-year-old was not related to Carver's, but lived with them. Investigators would not say who found the victims. So there was a 16-year-old who was living there, but not related to the Carvers. Alicia was killed. The person just staying there wasn't killed, and the mother wasn't at home. A woman was beaten to death and a teenage girl suffered severe head injuries in an attack at a residence. Investigators say they do not have a suspect or motive Vernon Parish Sheriff detectives responded to a call from Nulana police shortly after 11 p.m. Wednesday and found the two victims in a residence. I think this is basically the same article there. Same date, but different site. Okay, a 19-year-old, this is an article from the next day. A 19-year-old woman found beaten to death Wednesday night in her home was partially clothed, Vernon Parish Sheriff investigators said. The 16-year-old girl found beaten but alive in the bedroom was Alicia Carver, was fully clothed, Chief Investigator Marvin Hilton said Friday. The surviving teen, whose name was not released, was showing signs of improvement at LSU Hospital in Shreveport on Friday, but remained in critical condition, detectives said. No arrests have been made in the case, and detectives still do not have a suspect, motive, or murder weapon. Trying to find my control panel. Where the hell did it go? Disappeared. Oh, there it is. We have nothing new to release, Hilton said. We are working on the case. Carver lived at... Alright, now we got the address. 218 Wake Street. Not too far just from where we had it right there. Come on. Looks like a trailer, kind of. Yeah, there it is. Thanks, Jessica Schubach. Man, this is brutal tonight, man. Brutal. But thank you.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Carver, who died at the scene, and the 16-year-old suffered severe head injuries in the attack. It is unknown when the two were attacked, and there are no signs of a break-in. The 16-year-old's mother, brother, and her mother's boyfriend lived in the house, Hilton said. Wait a minute. I don't get it. The 16-year-old's mother, brother, and her mother's boyfriend lived in the house. So, lived in the house too? With Alicia Carver's mom and her? That's like 5 people. No, 6 people. The teen's mother came home to find her daughter and Carver in a small bedroom. She called Nulana police, and in turn, they contacted the sheriff's office at about 11:05. On Friday, detectives continued to question potential witnesses. Investigators will question the 16-year-old when she is able to talk. In the meantime, Nulana police have turned the investigation over to the sheriff's office, and they were asking for help back then. Vernon Parish Sheriff detectives continued Monday to investigate the death of a 19-year-old woman and the beating of a 16-year-old girl. Alicia Carver, 19, was found beaten to death Wednesday night at the house she shared with the 16-year-old and the younger teen's family. The 16-year-old so maybe she was staying with them and Carver's mother had her own place. The 16-year-old, whose name has not been released, was found in the same bedroom with Carver. The two had been beaten in the head. Detectives have not found a weapon, motive, or suspect in the case. The 16-year-old remained in critical condition Monday at LSU Hospital in Shreveport. The victim lived at 218 Lake Street and were found by the 16-year-old's mother. That's just so weird. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder if it was one of the people that lived there. And then they had to kill, because the one that was killed was the person that's not related to anybody. The other one was attacked, but lived, and maybe they weren't attacked with the same ferocity, or whatever you want to call it, ferociousness, because they knew the person, but they had to do it because there was a witness to something. Just seems pretty weird. Yeah, it might be an alien too. We just don't know. Teen who survived. Okay. A 16-year-old girl attacked in the Vernon Parish home was released from the hospital and is being held in an undisclosed location, Sheriff Chief Investigator Marvin Hilton said. The girl and 19-year-old Alicia Carver were found beaten in the head September 11th. Carver was pronounced dead at the scene. Carver lived with the teen and her mother at their home at 208 Lake Street, Nulano. The teen's mother came home that night to find the two in a bedroom. The 16-year-old, whose name is not being released, was taken to LSU Medical Center in critical condition. Detectives said she was released recently and moved to a safe location since the killer remains on the loose. Investigators are not releasing many specific details on the crime or the condition of the teen for her safety. However, they have been able to talk with her, but she has not provided any information to help the investigation, Hilton said. Thank you, Jill. Carver and the teen were found September 11th, about 11 p.m. Carver was partially clad while the teen was fully clothed. See, doesn't that make sense to what I was saying? Like, she was attacked for a different reason. The other one just happened to live there, and the investigation has not narrowed the suspect list down to one, and detectives still do not know what weapon was used to beat the pair. Evidence was sent to the crime lab in Shreveport, but no results have been passed on to detectives. An autopsy was done on Carver, but the results are not complete. Investigators are continuing to interview anyone who might have a connection to either female. In addition, detectives are following up on leads and still getting helpful tips from callers. Detectives said they still need information to track down who attacked Carver and the teen in their home. The sheriff's office is offering a reward through Crime Stoppers for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person involved. You do not have to leave your name, and code number will be assigned, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so we got that. And then I found an article from 2019. There she is. Oh, look at that's the same trailer in the background there. I think. Let's see. And maybe it's been redone a little bit. Vernon Parish detectives reopened 2002 cold case murder and attempted murder. The Vernon Parish Sheriff Department in Leesville announced on Tuesday, this is 2019, that they have reopened a 2002 murder cold case in which a girl was killed and another girl survived despite severe head trauma. According to detectives, I was hoping that last article would say if she said something or not. According to detectives, September 11th will mark the 17th anniversary of the crime, which was discovered at about 11:30 p.m. in a home on Lake Street in New Lano. Detectives say that a woman returned to the home that night and discovered her daughter, 14-year-old Barbara Ivy, suffering, so now it's 14, not 16. Barbara Ivy suffering from acute traumatic head injuries, while 19-year-old Alicia Allie Rose Carver was deceased in the same bedroom. Detectives described the attack on Carver as brutal, noting that she suffered horrific injuries to her face and skull. So somebody was really angry with her. At autopsy, the pathologist determined that Carver's death was caused by blunt force injuries to the head. The sheriff's department said the crime scene was one of the most brutal ever witnessed by many law enforcement officers within Vernon Parish. Detectives said that a male family member was asleep in a different room. Really? See, I haven't read any of these things, but I don't know. But that kind of an injury, you get blood all over the place, so I don't know how that would work. Detectives said that a male family member was asleep in a different room in the house, and he indicated that he was not awakened by anything until his girlfriend returned home and came into the room, really, screaming his name. Detectives noted that the male family member was cooperative with investigators during the course of the investigation. If you have any information about the crime, you're asked to contact the Vernon Parish Sheriff's Department. Really? I don't know. I think that's the angle right there. I mean, you're going to have two girls beaten to death in a house, so none of them screamed or anything. And it wasn't really even that late at night. And you have a guy that's in there and his girlfriend isn't around, and, and he goes in. Yeah, come on. And that's exactly what I was thinking. That it was one of the other family members attacking a non-relative, maybe even attempting to sexually assault, and then had to kill their own, or attempt to kill their own family member. They didn't really want to. That's why it wasn't as severe and the person lived. And that might even be why she's not saying anything, because it's a family member. So the girl, even when she wakes up, even if she remembered who did it, isn't saying anything because she is a family member. That would make the most sense. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Link? Gray? What? What is this crap? What does this mean? Link? Hold on. Gotta go check something out. What an idiot. Jesus. Alright, what are we going next? Go do something else. And guess what? That's it. If you have any information about the crime, you're asked to contact the Vernon Parish Sheriff's Department at 377-238-1311, or you can call direct to Detective Jerry Twyman or Detective Rhonda Jordan at 337-238-7248. You do not have to give your name. I think I'm going to call over there. That's when I just want to ask questions. Alright, you guys, I know it's difficult times here, but if you're one of those people out there that can afford to help support the channel, that would be much appreciated. Every single night, the freaks support the channel and allow me to continue doing these shows every single night. And at the same time, I mean, it takes hours and hours and hours to get all the links and put everything together to do the show. And then I do the 3-hour show, and that's what I do. And then, out of the income from the channel, I donate over 50% of the net revenue to various charities, and you guys are what have allowed that to happen. So it's sort of up to you if you want to help support the channel or not. There is no ad revenue on my live streams. They just don't do it. They might approve it 4 days after you've done the live stream, but nobody watches them after that. Okay, so that's all I can. I have to keep letting you guys know that, but it just is what it is. So, thanks, Kathy Shiflett. All right, we're gonna do another one now. This is the. Oh yeah, this is. There's almost no information on this one, but there's currently a missing person case. 15-year-old missing Utah girl believed to be with 19-year-old boyfriend. Officials are asking for help finding a 15-year-old girl who has been missing since March 3rd. Janisa Boney was last seen in Palm City, Weber County, and maybe in the Hurricane or Cedar City area, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Again, the organization we donate to. Boney is 5'3" and weighs 115 pounds with brown hair and hazel eyes. The Ogden Police Department said they believe she left with her 19-year-old boyfriend, and they may possibly be traveling. I don't know what "so" in southern Utah is. I don't know what that means. Her boyfriend's name was not given. Anyone with information on Boney's whereabouts is urged to call the Ogden City Police Department. His name is out there, though. And that's him right there. Jannesa Boney, 15, was last seen with her boyfriend Andrew Shutt, 19, in the northern Utah town of Plain City on March 3rd, 2023. Yeah, it's not legal here, I don't think. 19 and 15, but I don't know if you'd get a harsh penalty on that. Authorities in Ogden and family members in northern Utah are asking for help locating a teenager reported missing who has left a trail leading to southern Utah. Jannesa Boney, 15, was last seen with her boyfriend Andrew Shutt, 19, in the northern Utah town of Plain City on March 3rd. According to relatives, a debit card belonging to Shutt was used later that day at a Subway in Fillmore. Let's see, so where is... I'm just going to go there. Plain City, Utah. Just a plain old city, I guess. According to relatives, a debit card belonging to Shutt was used later that day at a Subway in Fillmore. Wow, that's way far away from there. So they're heading south currently. Okay, that's a pretty long drive there. That's... Yes, 225 miles south. Family members have not seen, let's see, later that day at a Subway in Fillmore, and his cell phone, Janisa Boney, Okay, so his card was used down there at the. She probably didn't even have one, maybe. At the subway. And his cell phone number last pinged a cell tower in Hurricane at 6:30. All right, let's do that. I bet it's south of that. Oops. Yep, wow, it's getting way down here. Almost heading to the border, so they just keep heading south here. Cell ping. Yeah, so they're up here, 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 and I wonder if they're heading to Nevada, maybe Las Vegas, you know? I mean, it's kind of, you're coming down and maybe they're going to get married in Las Vegas or something. Maybe it's legal, I don't know. Because looks like he's probably on Highway 15 here. And look, and 15 then goes right into Las Vegas. See? So they might be in Las Vegas currently. It's definitely the order, especially if they went on 15 this whole way. See, 15 goes right like that, and they were probably on 15 when they went to the subway, and then they're still on 15 when they were in, what was the name of that? Oh, that wasn't it. Down here in Hurricane, they must have taken 15 to get to Hurricane because there's no other roads. So at this point, they could have gone a different route, but I mean, it seems kind of weird to go all the way down here and then go like this. Seems more likely that they would go through Las Vegas, and maybe they're eventually trying to get to California. Don't really know, but I would bet money they went through Las Vegas right there. Thanks, Zozo. Yeah, it wasn't a case that was in, you know, it's a little bit more interesting now that has this latest article that actually has areas, something to map out. Thanks, Zozo.
Thanks for taking a look at this one, Gray. Jeff Wheel.
Family members have not seen or heard from the two Boney since. Family members have not seen or heard from the two since. Boney is described as 5 foot 3 inches tall and weighing 115 pounds with brown eyes and long dark hair. She has a smiley face tattoo on her ankle, and her right nostril and upper lip are pierced. Hey, thanks, Scouting Dude, for the cup of Joe. That's a cup of Joe.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Cup of Joe.
Let's see. She has a smiley face tattoo on her ankle. Her right nostril and upper lip are pierced. Shutt is approximately 5'11", 125 pounds. Man, have a hamburger every once in a while, man. He has both nose and ear piercings and a rose tattoo on his right forearm. The couple was last seen driving a 2002 brown Chevrolet Tahoe with a sticker on the back window of a grenade with the words Ford Repair Kit. The vehicle has Utah temporary license plates, and the back passenger window does not roll up, according to the missing person report. A Facebook page created for public sighting has the youth listed as missing, seen in Cedar City at the Chevron. Okay, let's see. So where are these places? Youth listed as being seen in Cedar City. So this is regarding Boney. Okay, so this is right on 15 here. So we'll just put it right there. Cedar City. Boney spotted. So it's definitely consistent with them being together, right? How do you know, Gray? Maybe they separated and she was hitchhiking on the same route. Only idiots would think that. Thanks. So then anyway, so it was at the Chevron, so let's put that in there. Alright, so probably I would bet this one over here. They probably were just pulled off of 15 and went to that one. This could be, I mean, that's right there too. Is that easier? Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with that first one. I think that's easier, more convenient. Probably, they needed gas, went to the first one. So probably this one. Alright. Oh, so it's not even, they didn't go to this one. So it was being seen in Cedar City at the Chevron in Ivins. And the Harmons, let's see. Has the youth listed as being seen in Cedar City. So I'll just put that there. So the Chevron isn't in Cedar City, it's in Ivins. So I bet you it's south of here. Yep. We're heading south. Oh, weird. Is this Ivins? Wow, so they didn't go to Las Vegas. Gonna get rid of that. Jeez, this all got weird now. It's gonna delete that one. I don't think they went there now. Didn't have that information a minute ago. So somehow at this point they drove up into here, and I mean, it could be that they went there later, but anyways, this is where she was seen. And this is in Ivins. Okay, then it was, and then Harmon's in Santa Clara, so they made it into California. Oh wait, is this already California? Or they have a Santa Clara in Utah. Okay. So it's just right in the same place. Harmon's Grocery, Santa Clara. There it is. So she was seen in here. What's going on?
Huh?
What's going on? Harmon's Santa Clara. I mean, that's kind of off the path there. I mean, there might have been a reason that they went there. I mean, I guess they could still have gone to Vegas, but I mean, there's probably plenty of grocery stores right next to Highway 15, but they actually took off and went up this direction. So there is a Santa Clara, Utah, actually. It's right here. So they went to... Yeah, I mean, they're definitely together. They may be camping in the area, said relative Rachel Greenwell. Well, she told St. George News that Shutt is familiar with the area. Family members are hoping they are camping, but worry after not hearing from either one. I had a good conversation with the woman. Said she thought she saw them in Harmon's on Friday, Greenwell said. She thought they seemed happy. I hope it was them. Family members are asking those who may have seen the two to call 385-831-0670. St. George News confirmed with the Ogden Police Department that the case is still active. Well, I hope it's still active. I mean, it's just going on just now. It's kind of a dumb thing to even ask, really. This is their press release here, the police, by Ogden City Police. On March 3rd, officers responded to a missing juvenile. Janisa Boney, Boney's mother, indicated that Boney had been staying with family when she left with a backpack. There were no indications at the time that Boney was upset or leaving under duress. Further investigation revealed that Boney may have left with her boyfriend who was 19 years old. Boney was entered into the NCIC and a statewide attempt to locate was put out as it was believed that Boney was traveling through the southern portion of the state. At this time, all investigative leads have continued to be followed up on. However, Boney's whereabouts is still unknown. If you have any information concerning Boney's whereabouts, please contact Ogden Police Detectives at 801-629-8229. Then there's also these text messages here. I don't have the one that she sent to her mom, but they're sort of ominous sounding. I only have her phone for a second. I don't take mine. I don't know what order these are in. Wonder too much, please. It's already so effed up. I feel like I'm actually going effing crazy and I hate it. I hate this world so much. Living is so shit. I was going to kill myself last night. This is what he wrote to her. This is the blue over here is Boney. He said, I was going to kill myself last night, so I'm kind of glad you told me this. Why were you going to kill yourself and how? I've wanted to for a long time with a gun. You got one? But I will hurt something. It hurt a lot first or something. I don't know. I came to the conclusion, though, on what the F I'm going to do with myself. I thought about it all night, and I really think you should either kill me or I should kill myself, but one or the other. You should choose. But like I'm being dead ass, so don't say anything about me staying here because I don't want that. I want to die, and I feel like the pleasure of killing someone would be amazing. So you should kill me low key. That's how I've been wanted to die, is being killed. I needed to say this before I had to go. Yeah, I'll kill you. You down? You down for tomorrow? I mean, isn't this crazy? But something like, need to hurt me really, really badly before you just kill me. But like, I wish I could read the word there. I can't see it. How are you going to kill me? Wait, don't tell me. That's not fun if I know. Are you going to die too? Yeah. Oh, so like, this reminds me of that one stupid dumbass case. What was her name? That blonde girl with the forehead that went on for days, you know, like, and she convinced the guy in text messages, even when he was feeling better, she'd go, oh, come on, get back on track now. What was her name? That stupid, man. Let's see. Woman convinces friend to kill himself. What was her name? Yeah, Michelle Carter. Remember that dumb shit? God. Yeah. Yeah, this girl right here. See what I'm saying? I mean, her forehead is literally 4 inches too tall. Okay? I mean, look at this person here. And, I mean, look. Wow. So anyways, she spent... she looks like an alien. All right? She spent a ton of time... Is that even real? Is that a... Looks like a dwarf. Or not a dwarf, an elf is what I was trying to say. She... No, those aren't lizard eyes, Holly. Those are monster. She didn't get anywhere near what she should have got. She all but is responsible solely for the death of an individual. I mean, hell, whenever he was even feeling better, she got him back on track, by God. She wanted to make sure he went through with it. I mean, she's a sick person. I don't give a damn what anything else. Is just know that she's sick. Wow, is that the update up there? Whew. Wow. What's going on? Oh my God, what's going on? Almost looks like Chucky, kind of. That's strange. So both of them are communicating back and forth here. Hey, thanks, Play-Doh. Welcome, Tillery. Yeah. All right. Well. Yes. I think I've gone through all of them except the longer one. So this is, we don't know where they are, but I hope they're, they didn't go way up in the mountains over here and kill themselves. Because it's interesting how they no cards have been used or anything else since that time. Who knows how much what they bought. I mean, maybe they bought a bunch of food where they could be off the grid for a while. I mean, we don't really know. But reading those text messages, they seem sort of committed to doing what they're doing. I think it was like the 3rd or something. I don't know. What do you mean in how long? What are you talking about? Yeah, March 3rd. See, it says right there. We went over that document. Thank you, Simple Life Days. Don't worry about the cash part. We don't need to. It doesn't matter. You don't need to find it. I'm moving on to a different story. It's good to know, or whatever. But these two are together, and they're talking about taking their own lives, and who knows where they're at right now. Maybe one of these days they'll stumble upon them. I don't know if they'll resurface somewhere. I mean, knowing that they have money doesn't help us find something. Thanks, Simple Life Days. Thought maybe the button was broken there for a while. Thank you for making sure that it still works. Alright. So this one's, look how much writing. I mean, this whole page is, well, not this first one, but this is back in 1963. It's still unsolved here. Want to put the story together anyways. And the pictures suck because it's black and white. And oh, yeah, I guess they had a lot of children. It says right here, yesterday there were 9 children in the Heskett home. Today 1 is missing. Mrs. Mervyn Heskett looks at the picture of the children, praying that 5-year-old Doreen is found safe and alive. The little girl, so I guess you can't really see it, but that's her right there on the right. Hey, thank you, Caligal3. Yep, whoop, whoop. You know what the sad part is, Zozo, is we're not even going to be able to spin tonight. So maybe tomorrow we'll get give Jeff his shot. Okay. Yeah, it's a great year, huh? You must have been born then. Alright, here we go. A massive search is underway today for a little 5-year-old girl who has been missing since 4:30 p.m. yesterday. Some 35 law enforcement officers, 2 dogs, and a helicopter from Hamilton Air Force Base have searched the Napa area and especially around the high school trying to locate little Doreen Heskett. Well, we're not even close, though. It's like half of even last night. It's crazy. The missing girl is described as having blue eyes, short light blonde hair, age 5, 3.5 to 4 feet tall. Weight is approximately 45 pounds. She was wearing a blue jumper and white blouse when last seen at her home at about 4:30 p.m. yesterday. So now we can put this in there. At 2309 Main Street, I think Napa, California, right? Yeah, 2309. I think it said Napa. Let's see. 2 dogs and a helicopter from Hamilton Air Force Base searched the Napa area, and especially around the high school, trying to locate little. Yeah, so it's right there. I don't know if that's a house still. I mean, this is a long time ago. Could have been torn down by now. And by the way, Jeff, I sent you an email anyways. Yesterday. Like I said, it's a house. Yeah, so there you go. The missing girls, we already said what described her. She was wearing a blue jumper and a white blouse when last seen at her home at about 4:30 p.m. yesterday at 2/3. So it was yesterday, that was the 25th of March. Let me put that in the right thing there. And that was at, she was last seen at 4:30 p.m. She was wearing a blue jumper and white blouse. I guess so that was at 2309 Main Street. She was last seen at 4:30. Anyone with any knowledge of the whereabouts of the girl is asked to contact the Napa Police Department immediately. She had left home at about 4 p.m. yesterday to visit with a fellow Lincoln School kindergarten playmate, Linda Ford. It was about 7 p.m. when the missing girl's mother, Mrs. Mervyn Heskett, while she was preparing dinner, realized that Doreen had not returned. So that'd be pretty difficult with 9 kids, right? To be like, oh yeah, yeah. You're going to probably forget every second, I mean, just having 3 kids makes it probably hard to remember stuff sometimes. And if you had 9, it'd be hard to keep track if one was just missing for a minute. It was about 7 p.m. when the missing girl's mother, Mrs. Mervyn Heskett, while she was preparing dinner, realized that Doreen had not returned home. Police were called in at 7:15. Officers checked with the girl's teacher and found that Linda was the daughter of Mrs. Marilyn Ford. Okay. A cocktail waitress at Bel Air who reside... Okay. So, up here it said... She had left home at about 4 p.m. yesterday to visit with a fellow Lincoln school kindergarten playmate, Linda Ford. And then over here it said officers checked with the girl's teacher and found that Linda was the daughter of Mrs. Marilyn Ford, a cocktail waitress at Bel Air who resides at 1400... Okay, so 1400 Sherman Avenue. It's probably not too far away, maybe. Yeah, and it's a number of blocks. Not too far, though. Let's see. So it's 0.66 miles. So that's Linda Ford. Friend. Okay. There's that house. Police Chief Sherwood Monk was called in to direct the search. Linda was awakened at her home some 10 blocks from the Heskett residence, and she told officers she had taken Doreen home at 4:30. Ah. Well, that's weird. Linda was awakened at her home some 10 blocks from the Heskett residence, and she told officers that she had taken Doreen home at 4:30. So she was at the house for, just right when she showed up? Because she left her own house at 4. It would have taken 15 minutes to walk there at her age. And then you take her home at 4:30? That doesn't make any sense. Linda said she rode her bicycle, and Doreen walked beside her. But she drove over there just to have you walk her home? But Doreen's brother and sister were playing in the front yard at 4:30 and said they had not seen her come home. Wow, that's... You're getting a lie from a little kid right off the get-go? That doesn't even make any sense. That's pretty weird. That is right out of the gate there. Shortly after midnight, police called in Marin County Sheriff's Deputy Michael McLean, who thought his bloodhound, Brandy, who brought his bloodhound, Brandy, to Napa to try to track the girl. A helicopter joined the search at daylight and returned to Hamilton Air Force Base shortly before 8:30 this morning without finding a trace of the girl. McLean had arrived at 1:30, and he was given the child's petticoat to get her scent. He started from the Ford house and raced the path down Jefferson Street to George Street and over to the Heskett home. What's going on with this? Yeah. My phone's going nuts. Xfinity? Oh, God. Quit messaging me. McLean had arrived at 1:30 and he was given the child's petticoat to get her scent. He started from the Ford house and traced a path down Jefferson Street. Okay, so from here, there's Jefferson Street. So probably traced a path that went something like this. And then it said to George Street. And wow, so to George Street, let's see where that is. Must be way down here. Oh, there it is. So Jefferson to George Street, and then maybe go through the alley there, maybe something. Not really sure, but that's where how the dog tracked all the way back. Let me see what that looks like right here. I think there's an alley that goes, yeah, right down there. So all she had to do was walk down this and then kind of, I don't know if you go around the fence. I don't know if there was a fence back then or anything like that. But it does say that he started from the Ford house and traced a path down Jefferson Street to George Street and then over to the Heskett home. Brandy also picked up her scent, this is a dog, at a house on Adrian Street, 1 block east of Maine. Let's see. Okay, so then dog picked up scent here. Dog scent trail. Okay. McLean, who offers his bloodhound services free of charge, got out of the bed sick with the flu to come to Napa. Brandy has often proved his usefulness and has been on 89 successful searches. As the search widened this morning, officers received 2 reports that a girl answering Doreen's description had been now there's the dog right there, Brandy. It had been, where does it continue at? It's awful, says mother of lost girl. 5-year-old Napa girl missing from home since yesterday. I think that's the one right there. I mean, it's such a huge story at the time. So it was. Doreen's description has been seen in the vicinity of, so somebody matching her description had been seen in the vicinity of the high school at 6 p.m. As sheriff deputies arrived at work this morning, some 15 were assigned to join 16 police officers and a highway patrol unit in the hunt. A report was received at about 11 a.m. that a girl had been seen at about 8 a.m. near the intersection of Silverado Trail and Hagen Road. The area was searched without result, and officers began to comb the Napa River banks from Trancas Street southward. Miss Heskett said the family moved to Napa on February 1961, coming from, Novato, where they had lived since 1953. They had resided in San Rafael before that since coming to California in 1950. The girl's father is visiting with his mother in Nebraska, and as of this morning has not been notified his daughter is missing. Mrs. Heskett said her husband has a serious heart condition and she fears that the news might bring on a heart attack. Besides Doreen, and Heskett's family includes 8 other children ranging in ages from 17 to 5. A lot of kids. Man, you guys, the energy, getting low, getting low. And this is a crazy, or this whole page is completely, it's all, look at that. This entire page is for this case. Now, 9 children's a little much, don't you think? Here's a desk and chair where Doreen Heskett sat daily since September. What happened to Doreen Heskett? Troubled minds and hearts in Napa and many other parts of the state where news of the little girl's disappearance has been widely publicized have theories ranging from the caprice of a child who might have been lost in the woods to kidnapping by a sex fiend who might have killed her. Mrs. Marvin D. Heskett, mother of the 5-year-old blue-eyed blonde girl who disappeared Monday about 4:30 p.m. from the corner of Pueblo and Jefferson Streets. So she was at Pueblo and Jefferson. I thought, well, that's where she disappeared from, but I thought the friend gave her a ride home. I don't know, man. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. The friend, I thought, walked her all the way home. Is hoping that some childless woman couldn't resist the lovable little girl and had hidden her to fill a void in her life. If this is true, Mrs. Heskett believes that Doreen will eventually be returned to her safe and well. Chief of Police Sherwood Monk has come to the grim conclusion that Doreen was picked up in the area of her home at 2309 Main Street sometime shortly after she left her playmate Linda Ford. Monk bases his theory on the fact that a bloodhound and German shepherd who worked with a scent provided by one of Doreen's petticoats were unable to find a trace of the little girl except in the immediate vicinity of her own home. Monk states he has confidence in the dog's ability to locate missing persons, and he points out that Brandy, the bloodhound, brought here from Marin County, has had more than 39 successful hunts. Not one of the numerous reports of citizens who thought they saw Doreen Monday night or Tuesday morning, the latest time she was presumably seen, has proved fruitful. Everything has been a dead end except one, the chief pointed out. That was finding the panties that Mrs. Heskett identified in the backyard of the empty house at York and G Streets. Really? Jeez. Where's that? So they found her panties over here? Hey, thank you, Snarky Cinderella. Undersheriff Wesley Guard, however, holds the belief that Doreen is somewhere in the community, perhaps injured and unable to call for help. Yeah, probably not likely. I'm going to do this timetable. I don't, some of that other stuff I'm not really that interested in. But there's a timeline over here. Thank you, Snarky Cinderella. Anyone else? Anyone else out there? Man, it's dark. Look in here. Forgot to turn on the lights. No, it's okay. Yeah. No, I don't want it. 4 action-packed days and 4 grueling nights have passed since Doreen Heskett disappeared. 4 p.m., Doreen received her mother's permission to go to the home of Linda Ford at 1400 Sherman Avenue, a kindergarten classmate at Lincoln School. That was at 4. But then at 4:30 p.m., Linda states she walks Doreen to her home. I mean, that's ludicrous to me. She would have so Doreen would have got to her friend's house at about 4:15. And then at 4:30, Linda states she walked Doreen to her home at 2309 Main Street. Linda was riding a bicycle and Doreen walked beside her. Then at 5 p.m., Mrs. Marvin D. Heskett missed Linda and went outside to look for her. Okay, so that's the mother. Then at 7:15, Miss Heskett called police and said her daughter was missing. Then at 9 p.m., officers contacted Mrs. Georgia Plummer, kindergarten teacher at Lincoln, and obtained the address of where Linda lived. Her friend. I mean, does that make any sense to anybody? Hey, Mom, can I go over to my friend, Linda's home? Sure. And then you drive over there, almost like immediately when you get there, Linda walks you back to your house while you're riding a bike. So at 9 p.m., officers contacted Mrs. Georgia Plummer, kindergarten teacher at Lincoln, and obtained the address of Linda, Doreen's friend. At 11:25 p.m., Chief of Police Sherwood Monk was informed that the girl was missing, and he immediately reported to duty to direct the search. At 12:30 a.m., Monk called Marin County Sheriff Posse and asked for the use of a bloodhound and his trainer, Deputy Michael McLean. At 1:30 a.m., McLean and the dog arrived and worked until 3 p.m., so an hour and a half. 6:30 a.m., Chief Monk called Hamilton Air Force Base and required helicopters to aid in the search. At 7:30 a.m., helicopters arrived, Queen of the Valley Hospital, and searched the area at low altitudes for more than an hour. Police officers and sheriff deputies searched the area between Linda's home and the Heskett house throughout the day and night, ringing doorbells and checking vacant lots. Police issued an all-points bulletin labeled urgent. Little Linda changed her story and said she had accompanied Doreen to the corner. Yeah, I mean, I could see making that mistake. Okay, so let's so now we can go to that part. Okay, now it's not as confusing. That's why they had Jefferson and Pueblo. It's like halfway home right there. Okay, so this is the path that Linda took. Linda walked Doreen. Okay. And let me just put a pin there. Linda, let's see. Doreen and Linda parted ways. There we go. Right there. At Jefferson and Pueblo. So that kind of makes sense. She goes over there and she goes, hey, who knows what happened, but said, hey, we're going to have dinner soon, so I'll walk you part of the way home. Walked her home. Came back over there. And then after that's where we don't know. So little Linda changed her story and said she had accompanied Doreen to the corner of Jefferson and Pueblo near the D.T. Davis School and left her. I mean, it's still interesting that you would have had a different story. I mean, it's a young kid, though, but Jen, a German Shepherd owned by Warren Short, joined the search early in the day and worked with a scent until 4:45. More than 1,000 volunteers, police officers, sheriff's deputies, and California Highway Patrol units were on the dog hunt. All known molesters in the county were picked up and questioned, but none were implicated in the child's disappearance. 4 p.m., 24 airmen from Hamilton Air Force Base. Thursday, 9 a.m., Chief Monk called the FBI and asked them to enter the case on the assumption that Doreen has been kidnapped. 10 a.m., 12 airmen from Hamilton Air Force Base joined the search starting at Pueblo Avenue to cover the area south of Redwood Creek Bridge. At 10:15 a.m., what is believed to be a solid clue in the case was unearthed with the discovery of a pair of panties. At 2 p.m., volunteers at 125 airmen from Travis Air Force Base arrived. I mean, like they covered this thing so thoroughly. So a lot of people said that they saw her. A man was reported seen on. So yeah, these things just throw you off when you read those. They have a whole story on the dogs here. I'm sure that Susanna Nicola Podrick would have loved that that section there. A woman heard a little girl crying outside her house Monday night. A man was reported seen on Soda Canyon Road Tuesday at 4 p.m. with a 5-year-old child. How do you know how old the child was? Does she have a sign on top of her head that said, I'm 5? A Union Oil bulk plant employee at 2921 Jefferson Street told police Wednesday he saw 2 little girls going south at Pueblo and Jefferson at 5:15. Okay. Well, that's later, though, than the time given. A Pinole woman reported Monday she gave a woman and child who were hitchhiking a ride from a ramp. I wonder if that's true, this one. And that would make more sense. Again, see? I think Linda's timing is wrong. I bet you this guy did see them walking. So let's see, this guy lives at 2921 Jefferson. Yeah, so it was right there at one point. And he said he saw 2 little girls going south on Pueblo at Jefferson at 5:15. So then that make a little bit more sense. You know, like you spend an hour over at the friend's house and then you leave. And then she never made it home. That's why the mom, when she went outside looking for her, didn't see her at 5. She never made it home. She would have been home at about 5:20, and then the mom goes outside at, around 5 even, because maybe she was supposed to be home at around 5 and didn't see her. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Sighting at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I I think that's a legitimate witness there. If an old woman reported Monday she gave a woman and child who were hitchhiking a ride, A brown car parked on Pueblo east of Jefferson about 5 p.m. Monday was reported suspicious when a man standing on the driver's side with the front door open appeared to be wrestling with something he was trying to get in the car. Another citizen said she saw a child Monday between 6 and 6:30 p.m. in front of the Payless drugstore on First Street. Yeah, that's not going to be related. Huh? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Cindy. I don't know how would somebody know her? That just randomly in the chat here. Neighbor girl mystery deepens amid frustration and fear. Helplessness, frustration, fear, and memory have become the dominating factors in the mysterious disappearance of a 5-year-old Doreen Heskett. Helplessness because police have exhausted every major lead in their extensive investigation. Frustration because investigators are convinced that somewhere in the is the vital clue they are seeking. It looks like it's kind of hard to read that, but seemingly this clue is out of their reach. Fear because police give, at best, only a 50-50 chance of blonde, blue-eyed Doreen being found alive. I wouldn't have given it that. And memory because of the Stephanie Bryan kidnap murder case, a case that began with the girl's failure to return home and ended up with the execution of Burton Abbott, her convicted abductor and killer. Time runs out. The first clue is that investigation came after 12 days. The first clue in the investigation came after 12 days. Doreen will have been missing 14 days Monday, and more than 3,000 searchers, trained detectives, and an aroused citizenry have yet to find even a trace of the vanished. It was about 5 p.m. Monday, March 25th, that Doreen, one of 9 Heskett children, started home. See, there you go. Makes more sense. So now they're adding in the 5 o'clock. She started home, and she went with her friend Linda. Started home from a visit with her classmate Linda Ford, also 5, who lives 8 blocks away. Linda accompanied Doreen to the vicinity of Napa Junior College, just 2.5 blocks from Doreen's home, and then she turned back. Okay, so now we've got the gist of what's happening here. Well, that's just the way it was back then, Zozo. It's not weird at all in the 60s. You know, like, we've talked about this 1,000 times. I mean, the world's a different place now. And we used to always, I mean, we could just ride our bikes up until 9 or 10 o'clock at night and then show up all sweaty and then go to sleep. You know, it's just what it was. But it's totally different now. It's a nightmare. It sucks. And here's the weird part is, why can't kids do that? You know, they can't because we have a society full of barbarians. You know, and that's what sucks about it. You know, why can't they do that? They should be able to, just like women. Why can't women go jogging in a park at midnight if they wanted to? Because there's a psycho out there. Yeah. Let's see. And there shouldn't be. Bloodhounds can pick up Doreen's trail from bulk. So let's see. Any citizens who have... Where were we at over here? Are we over here? It was about 5 p.m. So this all makes sense now. Linda accompanied Doreen to the vicinity of Napa Junior College. Less than 2 hours later, a frantic mother, Mrs. Dorothy Heskett, was joined by a few police in a search for Doreen. 6 days later, searchers numbered 3,000. They traveled by foot over 100 square miles of the Napa area. 7 days later, police decided it was useless to continue the search. Seemingly every spot had been checked and rechecked. Bloodhounds can pick up Doreen's trail from a bulk gasoline plant about 2 blocks from the Napa Junior College, where proprietor Mike Webb remembered seeing Doreen and Linda and follow it to the college. There the trail suddenly ends. Police Chief Sherwood Monk thinks he and, let's see, so it says, what does it say? And followed it to the college. There the trail ends. Okay. Police Chief Sherwood Monk thinks he had a kidnapping on his hands, lacking any physical evidence to prove his theory. The FBI has not yet entered the investigation. Other officers agree kidnapping, well, it's obvious. I mean, really, FBI? You guys that's idiotic. Other officers agree a kidnapping is the only logical explanation for the disappearance, as the mammoth search failed to prove otherwise. If she was lost, police say, we would have found something. The Napa River is 1.5 miles away from the school. It was searched by more than 300 skin divers on the possibility Doreen could have wandered that far off the route. Several known child molesters were questioned. No suspect was found. Hundreds have been questioned on the possibility they have seen the missing girl. Some think they did, and these people are being re-questioned with the hope that somewhere in the path is the path to the vital clue. Something has to come up sooner or later. Men are working on their days off. Others are putting in 12 and 14-hour days. Sooner or later, we'll come up with something. All right, that was April 7th. There was literally an article every single day for a long time, so I just kind of skipped around and found, it gets really boring. Like, just every single day there's, a whole article on one of her friends and how they bake cookies. And it was stupid. And now this is the crazy part right here, you guys. Search moves into realm of supernatural. The month-old search for little Doreen Heskett this week moved into the realm of the supernatural as police attempt to track down a lead that a man internationally known for extrasensory perception, or ESP, may be able to help. Police Chief Sherwood Monk said this morning, "Stupid, delicate little buddy, skip by." Police Chief Sherwood Monk said this morning that his department will check out the possibility that Peter Hurkos of Holland may be able to help locate the 5-year-old girl. Hurkos appeared in San Francisco Sunday, and when he touched a clipping regarding Doreen, reportedly became upset. He is said to have stated that the girl was abducted from Napa, was strangled, and her body hidden in the hills around Napa, Monk said. Hurkos is the subject of a book entitled Psychic, which tells that he was a painter in Europe after World War II, fell from a ladder and sustained a head injury, thus catapulting him into the realm of psychic, I'm guessing. When released from the hospital, he said, there we go, to have been endowed with substantial extra sensory perception. Almost God-inspired. The book says that Hurkos has played a major role in helping Dutch and French police to solve some of their most baffling mystery cases. Monk commented that he would like to know a lot more about Hurkos and the man who presented Hurkos with the
Heskett newspaper clipping. Assistant Chief Jack Blair noted that we've run down about 150 things that people thought without result. Doreen vanished March 25th near her home, and no clue has been found to date to assist the search, but if we can get that wacko psychic in there, we might be able to figure something out. Alright, so that was May 28th. And then there was articles over the months, nothing new or anything. Right here it says, this is like, listen, look at this article. I mean, this is about her. Heskett child dead. I mean, they even have like the X marks the spot here. I mean, the criminologist who uncovered key evidence in the famous Stephanie Bryan murder case has agreed to investigate the site on which a body believed to be Doreen Heskett was found today. Alright, you guys, if you'd like to help support the channel tonight, that would be absolutely fantastic. This has been one of the worst nights we've had on this channel in almost 2 years now. So it would be absolutely a travesty when covering so many cases and spending so many hours putting the show together to have it be that type of night. So thank you very much, and we'll continue in just a few moments. Got it in there. Just Jeff. And thank you, Caligal3 again. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I always feel bad when the same people keep supporting and other people aren't. Thank you, Caligal3. Chewbacca if you want me to be. Thanks, Renee H. Yeah, we're still not even close though, you guys. So, yeah. Probably at least, I don't know. But thanks, Plato. We'll have but no matter what, we'll have Jeff will be on the spin. Hey, thanks, Holly G, the lizard eye woman. In fact, they look very similar to the waitress that I was talking. Isn't that funny? But it's a compliment, okay? The way I say it. Thank you, Simple Life Days. And WNC Granny. Alright. Thanks, everybody.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Alright, here we go.
Basic generous.
Okay, now it's only in the top 20 bad nights. Alright. So yeah, let me see what the main article is over here. There it is. Let's just go to this one over here. Rancher finds little Doreen. I mean, this is
I mean, she probably was dead that whole time, I think. I mean, a badly decomposed body, believed that of 5-year-old Doreen Heskett. That means, you know, she goes missing in March, you know, cold outside, likely. Although this is California, so probably not. But, you know, the whole blazing summer. And then, now we're in November. No, thank you, Plato. Again. But you guys see why I have the dilemma of doing the cold cases, and I even did two or three current ones tonight. So, yeah, that's the dilemma. Where do you go? Do you continue doing these types? Because I think these are the fun for me, some of the most interesting and, you know, sort of fun to do, because you can map things out and kind of figure things out and put it together, and, you know, you have it all there. This thing was so, it was covered just tremendously. I mean, almost overkill, really. So anyways, it says, a badly decomposed body, believed that of 5-year-old Doreen Heskett, was found today in a large open field just southwest of the city of Napa. Clothing matching the description of that worn by Doreen when she vanished March 25th was virtually intact on the bones.
In memory of Doreen, praying gesture.
Thank you. Don't you think it's crazy how back then you get this kind of detail? Like today, you'd never hear something like that. So when she vanished, March 25th, the clothes was completely intact on her just bones at this point. Just look at now, watch. The way it works now on social media, somebody would say something like this. So somebody put a different body in her clothes and kept her. That's the way people think. Hey, wow, thank you very much. K-Drama 59. I think we're into the notebook zone. Thank you.
For all the missing children, broken heart.
There we go. We don't have any avocado dancing tonight.
Thanks, Gray, for all the great insight.
Anyway, thank you very much. Mama 457 Rose and K-Drama 59. Yeah. So, District Attorney James D. Boitano took charge of the investigation and ordered the field sealed off. A 50-foot wide circle was roped off around the skeleton, and Boitano ordered that nothing be touched. The body was discovered at 8:30 a.m. by Earl Stewart in a pasture for his dairy cattle across the road from his residence. Yeah, this is sweet. We get to have the exact 2195 Sonoma Highway. It's weird how people like reporting now, they just forget to put the address and stuff. You know, it's really bizarre, to be honest with you. So apparently over here, so that's the property, and then maybe in this field, let's just put this. Let's say she was found over here. For now. I know that there's an aerial map that I saw later. Hey, thank you, Cora Brown. Okay. The body was discovered at 8:30 a.m. by Earl Stewart in a pasture for his dairy cattle across the road from his residence at 2195 Sonoma Highway. I dreamed 3 months ago that I was going to find her, the 56-year-old dairy operator. Well, he'd be right at the top of my list if I heard somebody say something like that. But I would imagine a lot of people thought maybe they would find her. Thank you, Cora Brown. Stewart said he was checking the field to see if it was dry enough for plowing when he made the grim discovery. He dashed to his home and brought his wife to see if she thought the body was Doreen. "That's her," she sobbed. They called their son, District Attorney Investigator Philip Stewart, wow, what are the odds of that, and told him they thought they had found the little girl's body. Stewart contacted Undersheriff Wesley Gardner. Stewart, his father, and Gardner went to the scene. They made a tentative identification and notified Napa Police Chief Sherwood Monk. I keep thinking Monk the show every time I say that. Who notified the little girl's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marvin Heskett of 2309 Main Street. The Hesketts, who have gone through the months of personal agony as investigation failed to turn up a single clue, were shocked, but told the chief, "After all this time, we have been expecting something like this." Hey, thank you, Lisa Valenzuela.
We don't need any Coburger groupies.
Yeah. I mean, I might do another show pretty soon. Maybe I was thinking to do it pretty soon on the probable cause document again, because it's always good to go over those documents in the Coburger case, because that's really all we really have, and I've already kind of forgotten a lot of the stuff in there, and I think it'd be cool to go through that again just so that we're having it in our minds. Don't you guys like having those kind of facts in your minds as we approach more information or hearings and things? Because I always, after covering so many different cases, and you're about 3 or 4 months later, you sort of go, wait, what was the part about? Oh yeah, she was, you just don't remember everything. And I think when you see it again, I think the next time we go over it, you'll see how devastating the information is against Brian Coburger. Okay, but yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't want to do the, like just every day you keep covering it. It's just bizarre, these people out there. And by the way, have any of you guys been watching watch the flight what is it again? It's on Netflix, MH370 or whatever it was, from the Malaysia. I can't believe that was 2014. Man, that seems like that was 4 years ago. I was one of the people that was even looking at the satellite images that they had on a website. That one, just watching that documentary, you realize how ludicrous people are. The lady that's going, "Ooh, I see the wreckage in the water." No, that's not the plane. I remember seeing what you thought was the plane, like the nose is looking straight up at her. I mean, it was really ludicrous, and these theories these people come up with, like, oh yeah, so the U.S. airplanes were flying, they jammed the flight's communication, then they told him that he needed to land the plane, and he said no, and I'm going to fly it into the water at some point. I mean, just idiotic theories. And these are like the main people on the show. And I just started going, man, that's exactly how it is all the time, every day, on every case on social media. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's not a bad, it'll be interesting for you. It goes from the perspective of 3 family members, basically. It's an absolute nightmare. I mean, they show airport surveillance footage of family members, laughing and getting ready to get on the plane, and it's just brutal. And where they are, they still haven't found. Well, they found that little bit of wreckage, but some people are saying, I don't know. Here's the thing: they have all these parts that they found, and then they said only one of the numbers on one of the plane numbers were located and matched to MH370, and I'm like, well then, that's the answer. Because why would any part of the plane be there?
You don't need to keep going, well, but the other ones we weren't able to. Well, who cares what you weren't able to do? You were able to put one of the parts to the plane, and that's all that really mattered. Yeah. But they don't say that on the show. They just go, wow, ooh, they try to make it more interesting. And it's like, dude, no, but one of them did match. Okay. So that means you're on the right path there. Yeah, exactly. Susie Q. Anyways, I watched all three of those. And now I've been watching You. You know that show, You? I just got totally into like it's like Dexter about relationships. It's almost identical. It's like the same show. But anyways, here we go. I'm only on season 1 now. Yeah, you probably need to watch the MH370 one. All right, so Boitano said he will attempt to have Dr. Paul Kirk, the University of California, Berkeley, work on the investigation. Kirk, he said, is perhaps the world's foremost criminologist. The body was clad in slightly faded blue jumper and white blouse. Assistant District Attorney Jack Ferguson said it appeared that the little girl's panties were down, so those panties they found weren't hers, were down around the knees of the body, giving perhaps the only immediate indication of foul play. Well, of course it was. A herd of dairy cattle grazed nearby as the officers roped off the scene. It appeared that the skull had been crushed, and what appeared to be part of her skull was lying about a foot from the rest of her body. However, it was not determined immediately if this was a result of murder or a cow stepping. Yeah, that's a good point there. Probably strangled. Let's see. The body was apparently face down, Ferguson said, after checking the scene. Stewart said the field had been in hay about 3 feet high when the girl disappeared, he said. He recently... so when she disappeared, it was 3 feet high, and that would be the way that the killer would have secluded himself, a little bit like the Molly Tibbetts case in the corn. When the girl disappeared... And see, what's cool about all you guys is you actually know about the Molly Tibbetts case. We not only covered the entire case from start to finish, but the trial as well. So that was pretty sweet. The flame, maybe not all of you, but the ones, the regular freaks that have been here for years and years, and a lot of you are new regular freaks. You just weren't here 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2 years ago. Well, you should have watched this channel, Cindy, because I knew exactly, we nailed it. One day, in the Molly Tibbetts case, what changed everything was when we said that the red shirt that the mother said was missing was the red herring throwing everything off. And it turns out that was right. I don't know what that means. Stewart said the field had been in hay about 3 feet high when the girl disappeared. He said he recently burned off the field after a heavy rainfall in preparation for plowing. The flames had little effect on the body and clothing. However, because they were still wet, the rain, according to investigators. Not sure. The flames had little effect on the body and clothing, however, because they were still wet from the rain, according to investigators. Okay, there you go. The elder Stewart said he has searched the area while he was covered with hay many times without results. So, man, they actually went in there looking for her. Gardner, who let me look from the air. We didn't really do that. How far away? Oh, it's just right there. Jeez, just south of town. I mean, the killer just abducts her, probably somewhere in this area. Goes right out to Highway 29, zips down, pulls over somewhere, like right around however you exit there. I mean, it was probably different in 63, and then took her to this field over here.
Gardner, who headed a massive search of the entire Napa area after Doreen disappeared, said he searched the hayfield from a helicopter, and foot searchers also went through the field without finding the body. Stewart said he is not certain of the date, but sometime around the time Doreen vanished, he saw a car coming out of the field at 1 or 2 a.m. Wow. That should have been a massive, especially someone like him who said he was envisioning finding her. And he even checked, quote, looked in the same field multiple, I mean, come on. That's weird. One night, he said he observed the car from his house across the highway, and he could offer no further description of the vehicle. The body was found about 250 yards west of Napa River, some 2,000 yards from Sonoma Highway. All right, let's try to just do this. Found about 250 yards west of the Napa River. So let's say it was, let's just go to this part. 250 yards, they're saying? Yeah, it's not even... So that's 250 yards, and let's see how far it is from here to the highway. I think it's this field over here. We just gotta wait, Zozo. Let me get through this. It was just a field across the street from this guy's house over here. That's all it was. But now it seems like it's further over. It's 978. What did they say? 2,000 yards. Yeah, who knows what it looked... Ah, shit. Yeah. Man, sometimes when you get this measuring thing, it starts sticking on things. I wonder if it looked different. Let me go back in time here. Just sort of... Oh, is this Sonoma Highway right here? No, that's right there. So I don't know how it could be 2,000 yards. There's never been, I think they mean 1,000. 2,000 would never happen. That wouldn't make any sense. A dirt road that had been in existence when the disappearance occurred is some 75 yards to the south of the body. Stewart said the hay was not cut this year. He had already started plowing the land between the body and the river and recently stepped off the land for plowing where the body was located. At that time, he said he was walking along a temporary dirt road about 50 feet from the body, and the tractor, running by itself, passed within 3 feet of the body, narrowly missing running over it. There was no attempt to bury the body, it appeared. Stewart commented, however, that he very nearly plowed the body under. Wow. Pretty lucky. Police officers and sheriff deputies began an inch-by-inch search by the ground around the body. The first thing discovered was a small bone about 50 yards from the body to the west, but it appeared to be some sort of animal bone. Stewart told officers that while he keeps the gate to the field locked, he often finds... See, all this stuff that this guy's saying right here is never told to us. This is all stuff that the police take in So what's really cool reading these is it's as if we're seeing the police report, because they put all that stuff in the paper. None of this stuff right here is ever given out now. Stewart told officers that while he kept the gate to the field locked, he often finds the lock has been broken. The area, man, they might check to see if there's more bodies in there. The area, he said, is a popular place for trespassers who fish and hunt in the vicinity, even though the land is posted. The Earl Stewart is this guy right here. Can't really see, but I can kind of tell what he might look like. Doreen case now awaiting criminologist. Let me go back to the one before. Was there another page somewhere? No. Oh, parents badly shaken. There you go. That's her. We never had given up hope that she would be found safe. Only moments before the father spoke late this morning, the parents of Doreen had been told by Chief of Police Sherwood Monk and the Reverend Charles Jackson of the St. John's Catholic Church that the child was dead. The Hesketts are members of Father Jackson's parish. We hope that it will be established there was no foul play. The child... No, that doesn't happen. Of course there's foul play. The pathologist's inspection of the body of Doreen Heskett has advanced to the point where local authorities will wait for further work by noted University of California criminologist Dr. Paul Kirk. Dr. Houghton Gifford, Napa pathologist, said he expects Dr. Kirk or his assistant, Dr. Charles Morton, to be in Napa tomorrow to continue the investigation. He said his examination of the remains of the little 5-year-old girl missing since March 25th has revealed the body was definitely that of Doreen. It will be difficult, and number 2, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to determine the cause of death. 3, early investigation shows the fact that her panties were halfway down shows you that she was murdered. Early investigation shows no indication that any sort of chemical was put on the body. Found Thursday. It appears that the body had been in the cow pasture where it was found Thursday for many months. The panties have been pulled down, there we go, from the backside. The faded blue tennis shoes Doreen was wearing when she disappeared were not at the scene where the body was located. Oh, well, souvenirs, perhaps. Well, that makes it sort of interesting, because that might be just where she was dumped then. Because if the shoes are missing, then something may have happened somewhere else, but again, her panties were down at that scene. But if he'd killed, the person probably wouldn't have taken the time to... Yeah, that's crazy. If it had been... It has been definitely determined that the body... let me read that other one. The faded blue tennis shoes Doreen was wearing when she disappeared were not at the scene where the body was located. So maybe they did find them? I don't think so, though. It has been definitely determined that the body was face down, stretched out full length. The right arm was under the body, and the left hand was clasped together on the left side of the body. Yeah, so it's kind of like, you can just picture yourself, your right arm underneath maybe your chest area, or, just above your stomach, and then your left hand to your side, and it's clasped together. The right arm was under the body, and the left hand was clasped together on the left side of the body. Oh, so does that mean, like, when you say clasped together, how do you clasp one hand together? Or was it actually grabbing the right hand underneath the body? I don't know. Jeez, it's crazy. Only bones remained to the body. Decomposition had advanced to the point where there is no flesh left. Several bones, including the skull, were broken on the body. But Dr. Gifford said this could quietly possibly have resulted from cows in the pasture. Dr. Gifford's, I think that is possible. Something like that. I mean, cows, they're just walking around. And Dr. Gifford said he also will attempt to find out the condition of the cow pasture, whether it was ever underwater and for how long. Let's see what's on page 2 here. Column 4, anything new? In still another heart-rending ordeal that started 8 months ago, Marvin and Dorothy Heskett have positively identified the clothing on the skeleton of their daughter. Heskett said today that the clothing on the body was the turquoise blue jumper and white blouse Doreen was wearing when she disappeared on March 25th from the corner of Jefferson and Pueblo Streets. He said Coroner Charles E. Burchell had asked him and Doreen's mother if they wished to see the remains taken to Dr. Gifford's laboratory. We knew it was going to be another frightful ordeal, he said, but we felt we had to be sure that it was the body of our little girl. Dental test. Positive identification was almost made from comparison of Doreen's dental x-ray made about 6 weeks before she vanished with jawbone fragments from the body. Heskett stated he was extremely puzzled by the good condition of the clothing as compared to the badly decomposed body. Well, that is sort of interesting, right? I mean, did somebody put her there way later? Like they had her stored somewhere else, felt the heat coming on later, and just moved her into that field? And kept her somewhere where it was inside, and she, like, let's say she was kept in a barn, for example. The clothing may have remained pretty well preserved since it's clothing, but she would have decomposed, and then at some point he put her there. I don't know. But maybe the long hay protected it. Plus, Napa's pretty mild, right? Like it's not really, it's not, doesn't snow or, although that wasn't during the snowing season, doesn't really, probably rains a little bit, I would imagine, but. The blue jumper was hardly faded, he said. I don't see how she could have been out in that field in the heat and rain all that time. Assistant Chief of Police Jack Blair expressed similar doubts today, although he emphasized that it was only conjecture. Yesterday, he checked the farming operation of Earl Stewart, Sonoma Highway dairy owner, who found the body in his pasture last Thursday, and that's interesting too. I mean, did he plow the field before that? It was March all the way to then. So here we go. Now we've got an actual map. This is awesome. In fact, I can see on the map that's right, probably, looks like it's changed a little bit. I wonder if that's it right there. Yeah, and then right here. So we're looking at right there is right here. Can you guys see that? Let me zoom in so you can really see what I'm looking at. There we go. So right there, that means her body was found. Wow, look at my, this is almost right on the money here, what I already have. See that? That little point that comes out right there is right here. And then you would go, yeah, almost exactly right there. So her body was found probably like right here. This is the aerial photo that shows approximately 2 square miles of territory around the spot X where the body of Doreen Heskett was found, November 21st by Derry. This is an article from 1963. So, in December. So this aerial photo shows approximately 2 square miles of territory around the spot where the body of Doreen Heskett was found, November 21st by dairy rancher Earl Stewart. Number 1 is the Jefferson Street Imola Avenue intersection where 7 witnesses said they saw a girl matching Doreen's description become frightened by a car at 8:45 p.m. March 25th. Alright, well let's see, where's that? Number 1. Oh, that's way up in town here then. There it is. Okay, so there's this, and so that would have been right. I mean, look at, see this shape right here, little puzzle piece type thing. I think it's right there. I think. I don't know, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, and then so that means right about here is where they said they saw the girl frightened. Okay. And so that's south of where she lives, but you know, she lived here, and that was just right there. And it's actually closer to there than it is to her friend's house, Linda. So it's definitely a possibility that that was her. Okay, and then it says number 2, which is a barbed wire fence. Okay, they said she ran south towards number 2, which is a barbed wire fence she could have crossed without too much difficulty. Wow. So they have all kinds of information here. So that number 2 is right here. So she was running down Jefferson Street right here. Running south. Then over Barb. You know what's amazing is how it isn't really that much different at this point. So this would have been right around here. And look, I mean, there's the freaking barbed wire fence, you know. That's what she jumped over back in 1963. Right there. And apparently right in this area is when she was scared of somebody in a car and was running. Yeah, right around in this area. And she probably was headed that way, you know, trying to escape or something. Isn't that amazing, the information that's in these articles from back then? All right, then we get to the... so they saw a girl matching Doreen's description become frightened by a car at about 5:45 p.m. March 25th. They said she ran towards number 2, which is a barbed wire fence she could have crossed without too much difficulty. If she had been running towards the lights of basalt Kaiser plants in the lower right of the picture, number 3 is where the combination wire board fence is located that she could have crossed at the dotted line. Well, the could have stuff I don't really care about. Heading in a direction line for the lights, she would have run into a fence, number 4, that would have been virtually impossible for her to get across. But she could have made it through the fence by going to number 5. So where are you saying? Number 5, apparently. Has anybody did any 360 cameras out here?
That's all houses now.
That's crazy looking at that, right? Well, this is 2000 and... Hold on. This is June 2022, so... Yeah, I mean, it looks like that. I was just using the older... It's got the same shapes and everything. I'm just using the maps. Like, I want to go back as far as I can where it's clear, and then it looks more like, you know, this is 1993. So still 30 years after the fact, this is kind of what it looked more like now. I mean, back then. Now, today, it's all the houses are built in here and everything. But there's still no homes down in this area. So if you go like that, this whole area is still open and probably looks exactly the same as it did back then. Just where a goalie goes under a barbed wire fence. From this point to the lights is a direct line to where her body was found in an open cow pasture that had been in about 3 feet of hay when she disappeared 8 months ago. If she had been murdered, the killer would have dumped her body by going along the dirt road, black dotted line to the left of the X. Oh man, I can't see it. Oh wait, right there. Okay. So let's see. Is there still a dirt road there? Let me go back to the 1993. Is that what they're talking about? I don't know. Because that's not where the X is. X is... Maybe it was right there-ish. That's 85. Crappy. You know what I could do is... let's try something here. I'll pull it out like this. File, save as. I'm not reading the chat, so if you're going, great, check it out, I'm not seeing it. All right, maybe we can make this line it up perfectly here. Yeah. God, I'm good at this stuff. It's pretty good. It's right in there. Close. Yeah, I wonder if they had to... Yeah, it's up here. I think it's too big now. It's pretty close. Yeah, that's right. That's pretty good. Alright, so now we can just put the pin right on, well, it's really close. I mean, it's like I had it right on the... So look how close that is just to what they had in the papers, to 50 yards there. Alright. Let's turn it off. We don't need it now. Just want to make sure we have the body in the right place. What do you mean such a short amount of time? It's been 60-something years. It's a long time. But yeah, if you go like this, there's a lot more homes, but it's still not really... You know, there's other places you can go to, like Florida. This whole area would be completely filled in. Let's see what it looks like out here. Yeah, that's still barren, but this area here looked like it didn't have anything. Yeah, there's homes there. Okay, let me get back to this. So there's the different fences they're talking about. Right here. A little gully you could climb under they were talking about. I think they were trying too hard to come up with something there. I mean... She wasn't going to be running. She got caught way before. Let's see. It must be remembered that by the time she reached the end of Jefferson Street, it would have been getting dark, and she could have seen the lights of Basalt Rock County and Kaiser Steel Company to the south. Or company, I mean. She was heading for the lights, which are almost in a direct line of the end of Jefferson and the spot where the body was found. But even if she did have the strength to continue and enough fear to drive her on, she would have encountered at least 3 substantial obstacles. Just at the end of Jefferson Street is a barbed wire fence. She would have had to cross, which would not be too difficult. I think we pretty much read all that stuff. It's amazing seeing all those old photographs, too. Okay, and this is 2 years later, this one. I mean, the thing is, look at this. This whole page, again, is for the case. It's crazy. So let's see if there's any titles that we can look at. Test given. Dirt removed, no, many help, circumstantial evidence, but there is considerable purely circumstantial evidence that she was abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered, and that her body was left in the cow pasture by the killer. Some investigators frankly admit that perhaps the only way the case will ever be solved will be when and if the killer at some time, perhaps on his deathbed, decides to confess. But Police Chief Sherwood Monk reports he and his department have not given up hope. Officers continue every few weeks. I mean, this is I wasn't even born when this article came out here. And that's her there, that's her here, and her little bike. This is the way Linda Ford looked. Yeah, she probably had that same clothes on when she said goodbye to her playmate, Doreen Heskett, in front of the Union Oil Company bulk plant in Jefferson Street at 5 p.m. 2 years ago. Doreen was never seen for certain alive after that time. Nothing could be found with all the latest techniques of modern... I think this case would have been solved today. Not going to read that. I'll read the parts that are like factual pieces of information. And then this one's from 1967, which is 4 years later. I thought this was interesting, so I put it in here. The shotgun death of popular police chief Sherwood Monk, the same guy that we've been talking about, was under investigation today by District Attorney James Boitano. Monk's body was found in the kitchen of his home yesterday afternoon under conditions that on the surface appear to be a case of suicide. But a thorough investigation will be made to make sure it isn't murder. Monk's hands were clutching a police department 12-gauge shotgun when he was found by Detective Michael Silvestri, who had gone to the home because the chief had failed to show up for work. No notes were found, but neighbors and friends said Monk, 55, police chief since 1952, had been under a nervous strain for the past few months. Monk's wife, Ruth, was at work at the Napa Labor Temple when the shooting apparently occurred. The couple had 4 sons, 2 of them deputies in the sheriff's office. Boitano said he knew no reason why Monk would commit suicide. As many enemies as chief of police is bound to have, we can't dismiss any theories. Monk led the investigation in the county's most sensational murder case involving Doreen Heskett, 5, who vanished from her home in March of 1963. The girl's body was found 7 months later in a burned-over hayfield south of Napa. Her slayer was never found. Well, now I need to look up him and see what the outcome of that was. So we got... So it wasn't Adrian Monk? Sherwood Monk. And let's say 1967. And when was this one? June 1st. So let's do June 1967. Okay, that's probably the same one. June 15th. Alright, here we go. Chief Monk Scholarship established. Yeah. The Sherwood Memorial, it will be 3 things. Well, I want to know what happened here. June 2nd. Funeral services were held. Said the chief, who was 55, was suffering from a nervous condition and committed suicide. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, God, sorry, but he unalived himself. All right. Wow. Almost. Oh, it was too late, Gray. I was already triggered, you bastard. Yeah. Whoa. This will be my first. How did I get to that one? That was me talking. All right, and then 2001, we actually have an article in the paper over there, which is, you know, we go, ooh, 2001. Well, it's, you know, 22 years ago. What happened the night? And it's not even really much in it. It just says District Attorney James Boitano, second on the left, pictured with other investigators probing the Doreen Heskett murder in 1963. Boitano was a good friend of Fagiani family and took a personal interest in solving the Andrews murder, whose solution, like that of Heskett murder, has evaded police to this day. I know what the Andrews one is. Maybe we need to look at that one. What does it say? Two of the friends carried the moniker. The third friend in the trio was David. Is this part of the story? It's been mild for July in Napa in the low. Well, it says Andrews. I just saw it. As Anita Andrews, Fagiano's co-worker and bartender, approached the three men, she gave them a friendly greeting. After all, they had been in the bar before. A couple of stools away sat Doris Montesani. She had arrived about 7:30 and worked with Anita in her second job at Napa State Hospital. Anita had worked in NSH office for nearly 15 years, and since, I don't know what's going on in this one, but it looks like there's another unsolved murder. So where is she still lying there currently? Because they're all looking at the ground. So they reopened, they took a new look at some of these cases, but that's it, you guys. Isn't that crazy? They never solved that case. Oh, she's another missing woman? Yeah, maybe I'll look that one up. I have the article there. So that's it, you guys. Thank you for the long saga. You know, we got it all mapped out. And it's pretty sweet. I mean, look at this. Yeah, she's over at Linda's house. She likely got there. No, so she left at 4, got there probably at 4:15, hung out there for an hour. Then her friend walked her halfway back, and then on her way back, somebody must have like lured her or freaked her out. Did they ever find her bike, for example? You know, that was never mentioned anywhere. And then she made it all the way down to here, apparently. They saw her running. And then she was even seen running here. And then her body ends up being found right there. I thought she was on, I don't remember which one was on the bike. Now that you say that, I thought she was on her bike. Because they even showed her picture with the bike. I guess we'll have to look at it again. Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Linda was riding her bike and Doreen was walking next to her. But they do show a picture of Doreen with her bike, so I figured maybe that's what that was. So there you go. Cindy, you got one. For once in your life, you got one of those. Got one of those right. Amazing. Let's see. No, that's not true, Cindy. You're often absolutely incorrect. And I have to stop the show to prove it. And you go, oh, okay. So pretend you didn't just say what you just said. All right, what do we got here? Thank you to Jessica Schubach, Jill, Kathy. I'm going to make sure if I got everybody on this one. We'll see. Rarely wrong. Jesus. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious. I have to go to the... I want to make sure I got everybody's name. Right. Alright, yeah, there it is. So thank you to Kami, Circa Then, Ashy Snow, Candace Hill, Kathy Friedenmaker, Flounder 23, Caligal 3, Tina Susser, Kelly Snyder, Amy and Todd Stakely, Simple Life Days, Sozo, in behalf of Jeff, Kami, Simple Life Days, Tawny Lee, Renee H., Gummo, SV Kathy, Cheryl Bullock, Marlene, Jessica Schubach, Jill, Kathy Shiflett, Zozo, Scoutin' Dude, Simple Life Days, Caligal 3, Don G, Snarky Cinderella, Zozo, Caligal 3, Renee, Plato, Holly G, Simple Life Days, WNC Granny, Plato, Mama 457 Rose, K Drama 59 with the cat eye, Save the Notebook drawing, Cora Brown, Lisa Valenzuela, and Caligal 3. And thank you all for supporting the channel. And we also have on PayPal, we have Paulette Leonard, Susie Clue, Bama Forever, and then we've got Play-Doh, and then Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. And let's see, Holly Miranda. Wait. Or just Miranda. I don't know. I'll put just Miranda. I don't know what you're saying there. But she said, because of all you do. Boom! All right. Maybe it is Holly Miranda. Oh, put that in there. I don't want to make another Miranda think that... Okay. There we go. Thank you, guys. So here's the thing. If Jeff wins, then he wins. If he doesn't win, I'm sending him one anyways, okay? Because he's tried so long to get the damn thing in. Could have just bought one by now, though. Angela Alex. Okay, here we go. I bet it goes right in between. It's going to be hilarious. Let me do that again. So what do you guys think of the stories tonight? I mean, that was a pretty jam-packed show tonight. I mean, we just kept going and going and going. I think 5, 6, 7 different cases out there. Wait a second, let me get this fixed. Yeah, God. Well, now we're going to do the old method where I just bring it in the middle of the screen here and just gonna have to do it like this. All right. All right, here we go. We're shuffling. Let's get the music. Ready? Here we go. It's for the notebook, everybody. Jeff really wants to win, but he's a winner. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Ah! That was incredible. That was incredible. That was absolutely nuts. Did you guys see that? He was sitting there and it just went like this. Right on it. Oh my God. I'm sure Zozo helped him out quite a bit on that one. That was pretty crazy though, wasn't it? Oh man. That's pretty funny. I have to admit, that's pretty wild. Because it was literally, I could see his name coming up, and it was like the last tiny little click of the wheel, it lands on him. Is that funny or what? That's awesome. Man, what are the odds? It just shows God works in mysterious ways, everybody. Even with killers like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer, boy. Look, let me just say this. So let's just say God does forgive people like Jeffrey Dahmer. Does he at least segregate a guy like Jeffrey Dahmer away from maybe the other family members of his victims that went to heaven? Or are they all just kumbaya shaking hands? Yeah, if you can answer that one for me, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for being here tonight and supporting the channel and make sure to hit that like button. If you guys hit that tonight, we're only at, oh my God, 279 likes. Are you freaking kidding me? Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, hit that like button, 10, 20, hit that like button, 20, 40, 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25 of them, you're maybe we can get a couple more. Maybe get it to 300, that'd be sweet. Ah, forget it. Never mind, don't worry about it. Doesn't really make any difference to me anyways. Yes. So thank you guys for making it a relatively successful night compared to where it was going for a long time. And we will see you tomorrow. And what will be? Oh yeah, I think tomorrow we might do what I was saying. The maybe go over that probable cause thing. You know what we should do is go over the probable cause tomorrow of that, and then we should go over the probable cause in the Lori and Chad Daybell case again. And because we got it all mapped out and everything, and it would just make so much sense to everybody just looking at it, right? So, are they going to chart? Are they doing anything regarding Vallow, like his murder, Charles Vallow? I want to know about that because that was definitely a murder. There was no random self-defense or anything like that. Yeah, so we're going to do we'll do the Kohberger probable cause tomorrow. And then maybe even the next day we'll do the Lori and Chad Daybell probable cause that we've already mapped out. And then it's just sort of going through it and pointing at stuff. And then you'll see exactly. I haven't figured out exactly where they were standing in the picture that was taken at, I think it was Old Faithful at Yellowstone. First I thought it was Grand Prismatic or whatever, I can't remember the term, Grand Prismatic or something, and then it turns out that wasn't the spot. And I even found like almost the exact plank of wood that they were on when they took the picture of JJ and Tylee. Awesome. Who are they being charged? Well, there's JJ and Tylee. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, look at that tonight. 3 hours and 46 minutes. Crazy, huh? So we'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there, freaks. Hey, I added something new. All right.
Crime dissector, thug rejector, I'm a certified human lie detector.
One person. Yeah, that is a
Crime dissector, thug rejector, I'm a certified human lie detector.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar.
Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, y'all, just remember I'm a technical injector. I have no agenda, I love a tender, and I'll save it to your spread without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Wow, it's almost like you were singing that to like some old song from a long time ago. Don't even remember. Hey, good job there, Mary Lou.
Hey, thanks, Gray. I've been working really hard.
Oh my God! I just said good job. I didn't need you to go into the.
Gosh, Gray, I was just trying to let you know, guy.
And yes, Cindy, you're right sometimes. Okay, but almost always. Come on.
Gosh, Gray, you're so mean.
Wait, why are you crying about Cindy's thing?
'Cause I really like her. She's the only one that's nice to me.
No, she hates your guts. Almost every single show, she admonishes you for your ridiculous comments.
Oh, I thought you liked me. Okay, forget it then. You're right, Gray.
Oh, God. What a... All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe out there.